these young kids, and these young kids look up to it, and you wouldn't believe the smile on their face when they see a high school kid hanging out on their sideline or just at the field on a Saturday.
For the Melbourne Bulldogs, the home team tonight, they come in under first-year head coach David Kintai, their fifth head coach in the last 10 years, their fourth head coach in the last 4 seasons. I'm really excited for what I think he's going to bring to this program. I think David Kintai is qualified to bring that sustainability back to this Melbourne program.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Kintai has been around the program. I think he came Todd Wilson's last year in 2014. Then obviously was here for the Grish area. I don't believe he coached when Coach Rowell was here, but I know obviously he's a teacher at the school. And, you know, Dave's very knowledgeable, national champion from the University of Miami. So I think he's got a good coaching staff around him, and I'm very interested to see what he does this year.
You know, then on the other side you have the longest tenured head coach tied with Coach Hooks over at Holy Trinity in Mark Ainsley, who's been a rock over there at that Heritage program. And he's got a bunch of young studs who got a lot of playing time last year inside that Division I division that they played in last year, playing against the Rockledges, the Cocos, the Vieiras, and the O'Galleys.
Yeah,
what do you think that's going to do for this team this year?
I mean, Caleb, we talked about it a little bit pregame, just me and you. I mean, obviously I coached Joseph Tenta, but being 14 years old, playing his first game against Cocoa High School last year, I mean, that you can't beat that experience. And, you know, Coach Ainsley is one of the best football coaches in town. You know, obviously my dad's on staff over there, and, you know, I know those guys pretty well, just like I know the Melbourne staff. But I think this is a pretty fair matchup, watching both teams warm up. You know, both coaching staffs on point, and I think we're going to be in for a great show tonight.
And here we go as we're waiting for the teams to make their way to the field. You know, when you look at the Melbourne Bulldogs, the entire 2021 season under their fifth head coach in the past 10 years, their fourth in as many seasons. Kintai came to Melbourne, as you said, 6 years ago in 2015 to work with then head football coach Scott Grish. And Kintai stayed around the program. You know, when you look at the defense here for the Melbourne Bulldogs, senior Gavin Rowell has the bloodline to dominate here on this Melbourne D-line. And he has showed his dominance in the spring when he recorded 16 tackles and 2 sacks against that astronaut program that Justin Warden's building up there.
Listen, Gavin Rowell's a special player. I coached him his senior year at West Melbourne. I coached Tanner and Cameron when I coached at Melbourne for 10 years. Obviously, we all know what Dad and Tanner did. Cameron was a hell of a player too. But Gavin's special, man. Gavin's got a motor. Gavin's going to be able to take this game as far as he wants, as long as his academics are right. He's just a special talent.
Also on that D-line, on the other side, Jafari Clark, who will also play a little bit of linebacker, looks to complement Rowell and benefit greatly if the teams double team his pass rushing partner. Absolutely.
Jafari's a heck of a player as well. I told you before, I think Melbourne's strong suit is their D-line with Rowell, Ford Watson, Boudreaux Benford, Jafari Clark. And I know they got some other rotations in there as well. This Melbourne D-line is deep. They're big, they're fast, and they're strong.
And, I mean, they're going to go against that offensive line that's been playing together for at least the last 2.5 years, led by Coach Ainsley's son, Luke Ainsley. One thing about Heritage is they've always been a smart football team, and I don't just mean smart on the football field, but smart in the academics, which is always great when you sit, because ultimately what these students are, they are capital student athletes, and it translates when you look at how many players have gone to the schools of Brown and
they got a lot of Ivy League kids. I mean, that Cambridge program at Heritage is a big thing. They have a sports medicine program there as well. You got Logan Kenzel, Connor Robinson, Luke Ainsley. I mean, those guys. I mean, like I said, it's same thing I said about Melbourne. You can say about Heritage. Those guys are big, they're fast, they're strong. But like you said, they're smart athletes, they're student athletes, and we're in for a treat because whoever wins up front is going to win this ball game tonight.
Absolutely. It's said Melbourne on their offensive line is arguably one of the top 5 offensive lines in the entire county. And you know what? They're going to need it to protect Hunter Turner and Michael Alves coming out of that backfield.
Yeah, Michael Galvin, he is playing tailback for the Bulldogs. I mean, that's kind of been a question mark for him. You know, you lose somebody like Tony Wright for 4 years. You know, Melbourne's O-line's big, man. I haven't seen an O-line like this, you know, probably since 2014, 2015. Expectations are high, and, you know, I think they'll be able to live up to it. You know, just see what they do. You know, they got a heck of a gunslinger back there in Hunter Turner. Kid's been, you know, he's a smart quarterback, talented, and like I said, I think they're going to be able to throw the ball around a lot. I just, you know, see what their run game brings them. They did struggle in the spring with running the football.
All right. Here for the coin toss.
It looks like Heritage didn't win the toss.
Heritage won the toss, and I believe Heritage said they're going to receive the ball first. So that was the Beach Wave Volleyball coin toss, sponsored by Beach Wave Volleyball. Contact Michelle Rycroft if you have a student athlete who wants to develop and hone their skills in the sport of volleyball. Give Beach Wave a call at 321-243-8456 or find them online at beachwavevolleyball.club. I'd like to thank some of our other sponsors tonight. Slow and Low Barbecue out in Vieira. You know what? That sounds like a darn good place to eat after this one's all over.
Oh, yeah, Slow and Low. When I was going to some Vieira games, seeing my buddy Davis Mallinger, man, me and Coach Mallinger, his father, used to hit Slow and Low all the time. You know, I love their barbecue.
Also, shout out to Kendall Signs for being a sponsor.
Yep.
As here come the Bulldogs and the Panthers taking the field. We're getting all signed up and ready. Speaking of signs, again, our partner Kendall Signs. Also like to give a shout out to Sun Shop Florida. Give Coach Dan Hancock a call. Go solar and to help reduce those prices of those electric bills. Give Coach Dan Hancock a call at 321-213-8363 or go to mysunshop.com. Again, I want to thank all of our sponsors.
Looks like Heritage is going to be kicking off, Caleb.
Heritage set to kick off. Back to return for Melbourne is number 1, Devin Alves.
And number 5, Jalen Clark.
And Mr. Clark, the other returner.
Number 11, Trey Ulmer, looks like he's teeing up the ball to kick off for Heritage.
All right, full 12s on the clock. The band has sounded. Ref has blown his whistle. We are in a packed house tonight. Tom McIntyre Stadium, and the season begins.
Squib kick down the middle.
Oh, muff punt. Covered by number 32.
Logan Barnhill on the recovery. I'm not sure if that was a design kick or not, but Bulldogs take over 1st and 10 on their own 38-yard line.
This drive here is sponsored by Community Credit Union. Give them a call at 321-690-2328.
Caleb, I won't be surprised here if we see Melbourne take a shot early on these young Heritage corners. Devin Alves and Jafari Clark lined up outside. Oh, handoff up the middle. Michael Galvin.
6-yard pickup for the Bulldogs.
Good pickup there. Hey, you know what? I'm thinking Heritage was expecting that bomb too. That was a clean shot right through the gut.
Yep. That was Jaking Joseph on the tackle from Heritage, number 2. Well, Caleb, I think they're out to prove me wrong about the run game. That's a good 6-yard pickup on 1st down.
Turner calls for the ball. Play action, swings the
ball
ball out
bubble
left.
to number 2, Santiago.
And that should be enough for a Melbourne Bulldog 1st down. And it is confirmed, 1st down, Bulldogs. A community credit union, 1st down.
Caleb. Coach Ainsley does a great job disguising his coverage. I'll be interested to see what he rotates in. You know, he might have a cover 2 on the front side. He'll be man backside. So we'll see how that matchups all night here with the secondary.
Turner hands it right back up the middle, and there he goes.
Gonna be just shy of a first down, but that Melbourne O-line is moving people. Nice run by Michael Galvin.
You know, hey, he has those pretty big shoes to fill, as we mentioned in the pregame show, in Tony Wright. He's getting off to a mighty nice start tonight.
Doing a great job. Like I said, that Melbourne O-line's moving people. They're gashing them right now.
Again, back in the pistol. Turns and hands it off, and Galvin will get.
Looks like he's still going to be short. It's going to be 3rd and 1. That was Connor Robinson on the tackle. I wouldn't be surprised to see another run here being 3rd and 1. I don't. You know, 2 down territory here.
Absolutely. You want to continue pushing this momentum. You're able to run the ball at will. Hunter
pulled it up
on the completion there.
Pass complete to the 33-yard line for Melbourne. That's another first down.
That's going to be an interesting matchup all night, Caleb. You got Devin Alves, the senior, against the sophomore, Tayshawn Benson. Even though Tayshawn's a sophomore, he had a heck of a spring, picked up an Iowa State offer this summer. Kid can fly. That's going to be a good matchup all night.
Definitely be one to watch. I like these little sugar huddles. They're just here. Get your assignment, get out, and get lined up. Let's go.
Yep,
Play action, taking that shot, and it's incomplete.
That was intended for Jalen Clark. Trey Omer on the coverage. Like I said, I think Melbourne's going to take a few of those early. Again, that was a good ball by Hunter Turner.
Good ball, and you know that was great coverage there by Clark. So it'll bring up 2nd and 10. Ball on the 33-yard line. Sends a man in motion. He's going to toss it. Trying to get to the outside. Over on the left. Good solid tackle there.
Yep. Isaiah Nieves, number 10 from Heritage, on the tackle on a jet sweep from Devin Alves. Should bring up 3rd and 10 here. Be interested to see what. Looks like we got a chain gang issue over there. Looks like it may have come undone. 3rd and 10, Caleb. Does Melbourne go for 5 here and cut it in half, or we going deep, try to pick up first down?
You know what? I like another shot here. I like a shot. Try to get the first down. Maybe even come with a wide receiver screen and let your athletes get out and make a play. I mean, when you got athletes like Devin Alves, Jake Clark, Frankie Santiago, Johnny Rentz, Ryan Cabrera.
Yeah, they're full of athletes on the outside. Let's be interested to see what offense coordinator Stephen Hughes calls here.
They set up in the pistol, 3 receivers near side. Turner, play action, escapes the pressure, looking. He's going to fire, gave his man an opportunity.
That was number 8, Osterley, on the pass breakup. Pass intended for Wadsworth. Nice rush off the edge for the Panthers. I believe that was number 3, Bryce Harris, off the edge and forced Turner to scramble to the left. 4th and 10 here.
And I don't see that punting unit coming out. I like the aggressive start here. Opening drive. Try to establish the momentum right here.
Be a big stop for Heritage after giving up probably about 30 yards on defense so far. I'll be interested to see what we go here. Obviously, you got to take a shot, 4th and 10. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a screen.
Play action, tries to swing it out near side. Going to the outside, he's got room. And he'll pick up the Melbourne Bulldog first down.
That's a great play call by offense coordinator Stephen Hughes. Wadsworth came across like they were running the trap. Hunter faked it and threw it right over the defender's shoulder.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the 15.
Bulldogs are on their own on the Heritage 15-yard line.
You know what? This is one of those here on first down. I say you fake that midline that you've been running and take a shot to the end zone here. As we've seen, Hunter Turner has that arm. Sends a man in motion, and he's going to swing it out to that left side, trying to push the pile after bringing up a gain of 4 or 5 yards on the play.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Hughes is going to try to get the ball in his playmakers' hands early and let them go to work.
It'll be 2nd and 6.
It's smart when you have a young quarterback to just establish that confidence. Hey, we're not going to ask you to take too many shots. I'm going to give it to your athletes in space, and they're going to help you out.
Absolutely. I mean, especially with the athletes that Hunter has around him. Great offensive line. He's got some good backs. There goes Galvin.
Turner hands it off, bouncing off tackles before finally being wrapped up after a gain of maybe a yard on the play.
Initial hit was by Isaiah Nieves, number 10 from the Panthers, followed up by number 60, Connor Robinson. 3rd and 5 from the 9-yard line.
8:08 left in the first quarter. Turner brings his team out again, staying in that gun. Drops back, he fires. It's going to be called. Hit him in the hands.
That one's on the receiver. That was a drop pass by Jalen Clark. Great ball by Hunter Turner. It was there. 4th and 5 for the Bulldogs. It looks like they're going to bring on their field goal team.
That's another one you kind of put in your back pocket and say, all right, we think we can slide that past them again down here in the red zone. Like you said, beautiful ball thrown by Turner. And on for the field goal. Kick is up and good.
And the kick is good.
I tell you what, number 3 from Heritage, Bryce Harris, he lays out next time. He's blocking that kick. That was not good protection by the Bulldogs, but nonetheless, it did go through.
All right. So, with 7:41 left in the first quarter, your score, the Melbourne Bulldogs 3, the Heritage Panthers 0. We'll be back after a message from our sponsor.
This is homeowner Harry. He's a family man, and today he's examining his utility bills. He's wondering why his utility costs, especially the cost of energy, is so high. He wishes there was an alternative that could cost him lower than his present bills. Luckily for him, there is. Here's Dan from Sun Shop at his door. Dan has come to explain to him how going solar can help him lower his utility cost and solve his worries. Homeowner Harry lets Dan in, and he explains to him how the sun will fuel his home when he goes solar. Dan also breaks everything down to him on how his bills would be lower, and he'll be helping the planet in his own little way at the same time. He was pleased with all what he has heard about going solar with Sun Shop. Thanks to Dan from Sun Shop, his home is now powered by solar, and now he's all smiles and
thank you to the Sun Shop. Little pooch kick. And the returner will be brought down at about the 39-yard line, where Heritage will begin its first possession. Joseph Tenta takes over at the 39-yard line.
Looks like both coaches got a similar strategy with their kickers. I don't know if they don't got the legs, Caleb, or that's just what they're going to roll with this year. But good starting field position for Heritage, and let's see what number 6 in the Heritage Panthers have on offense.
Again, the young gunslinger Joseph Tenta, quarterback for Mark Ainsley's Panthers. Comes out, two backs in the backfield.
Nakari McIntyre, number 5, is lined up behind him. Oh,
Gives it the first back
fumble.
through. And turnover. Melbourne recovers that football.
I apologize. That was L.J. Turner lined up behind Joseph Tenta. And
You know, it looked like there was just a little miscommunication there.
not a good start for the Panthers. See if this defense can hold here.
And next drive sponsored by Amazing Elite Football Academy. Contact Coach Eddie Mays at 321-223-6237. Information there on the bottom of your screen. First and 10, Melbourne.
Caleb, if I'm Coach Hughes, I'm taking a shot. I got the momentum right now.
Play action, Turner looking. They're going to take that shot. Nearly intercepted.
Great coverage by Tayshawn Benson.
You know, and that's one you wonder, you know, why you jump up for the ball and why you don't maybe not try to keep running under that pass. Because even if you run into the defender, a lot of times you'll get that pass interference call.
Yeah, it looks like Devin left his feet a little early. Maybe stayed down, kept running a little bit. It might have been a completion. But like I said, Tayshawn Benson had some great coverage on that play.
So it'll bring up second and 10 on the 38-yard line. Sends a man in motion. Turner gives it off, and he tries to bounce out to the right side.
Great job by Isaiah Nieves, number 10 and number 29, Francis on the tackle. 3rd and 10 for Melbourne. You know, Caleb, I've been watching this matchup here on this end. Number 76, Cody Black, against number 23, C. Jean. Teammates for 8 years out of West Melbourne. It's fun watching these two go at it right here.
Turner dropping back. He's going to fire, and it's caught. Trying to fight forward there is number 4, Thomas Wadsworth.
Thomas Wadsworth's got some sure hands.
You know what?
That's a great job.
I say you go for it here. 4th and 2.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's going to be 4th and 4. Melbourne's going for it, no doubt. It's definitely a manageable situation here on the Heritage 33-yard line. So
Turner calls for it, and they get Heritage to jump off sides. Great call there.
absolutely. Hey, don't even got to call the play when you got a smart quarterback like Hunter Turner going on too. Great job by Hunter. Looks like that was number 55, Kevon McCullough, that jumped off sides for the Panthers.
You know, that's one of those they'll go – coaches will say, hey, you don't move till that ball does.
Got to have deaf ears on the front line. I mean, every D lineman knows that. Watch the football.
Turner comes back out in the pistol. 2 receivers near side, 2 far side. Sends a man in motion. He's going to give it off to Galvin. Galvin bouncing up for about 3 or 4 yards on the play. That'll bring up 2nd and 7.
Yeah, a little jet sweep action. Got the linebackers flowing. Came back underneath it. And nice pickup by the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs makes it 2nd and about 6.
Long 7, short 6. And they got him jumping again. Number 69 is a guilty party.
Dobby for the Panthers. That's going to be close. Looks like it's going to bring up 2nd and 1. Unfortunately, Coach Lindsay's going to take him out and have a little talk too.
Look, you know, all these players have a little bit of jitters. It's that kickoff classic trying to.
Absolutely, Kay. But it's first game. You got a lot of lessons to learn here, and you know.
And it looks like we're going to have an officials timeout. Well, while we have an officials timeout, let's give a shout out to our sponsor, Kendall Sign.
Hey, this is Devon Dudley, and you are watching Brevard Sports Network. Oh, my brother, testify.
And we are back, coming up on 2nd and 1 for the Bulldogs after getting Heritage to jump off sides.
Caleb, I'm looking at these stands, man. They are just steady packing in here.
But hands off to Michael Galvin. Galvin, I think he picked up enough for that first down.
He's going to get the first down. That's a great job, again, by Connor Robinson of the Panthers making a tackle. But that Melbourne offensive line is moving bodies up front.
First down, Bulldogs.
That first down brought to you by Amazing Elite Football Academy. Contact Coach Eddie Mays at 223-6237. Coach Eddie Mays does a great job training these athletes here in Brevard County.
Coach Eddie Mays is one of the best to do it, man. That guy's awesome, man. His energy, his passion for the game, for the student athletes is unmatched. Ball, fumble.
Ball's dropped. We're going to see who's come up with it.
It's fumbled by Wadsworth. He was able to come up with the ball here.
Wadsworth picks up the fumble there.
Tashon Townsend, it looked like his helmet popped the ball out of Wadsworth's hand, but he was able to recover the fumble. It's got 2nd and 3 from the 9-yard line.
2nd and 3 inside the slow and low red zone. Officially, I believe the ball's at the 7 or 8 yard line.
Looks like we're on the 8-yard line. Like I said, 2nd and 3.
Turner fakes to Galvin, slings it outside, tries to make a move, gets outside. He'll dance his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
Great catch and run by Jalen Clark. Looks like it was number 2, Joseph, for Heritage on the missed tackle. Hey, get your athletes the ball and let them make plays.
And what a swing of momentum that is, capitalizing on the turnover after getting that field goal. And then now you put more points on the board. For a young team like Heritage, this could prove to be pivotal here in the first quarter.
Caleb, I did miss it. That was a great block by number 2, Frankie Santiago, on the bubble by Jalen Clark. He gave him a little room to make some moves and get upfield.
So with 4:55 left in the first quarter, the Bulldogs capitalize on the fumble and extend their lead 10-0 here on the Brevard Sports Network. We're going to keep it right here.
Well, Caleb, Heritage got to have that next play mentality. You got to forget about their mistake, and you got to get some momentum coming back your way. Otherwise, this could get ugly quick.
And look, you've had the opportunity to coach Mr. Tenta and watch him play. He does have that mentality. He's just one of those natural-born leaders.
Absolutely, Joseph's a great kid, but he's a student of the game. He's a leadership mentality. He's a coach on the field, so I know he'll get these kids right. His offensive line, his running backs, and let's get some momentum going for the Panthers.
Christian McDonald set to kick this ball off. And another sky-high pooch. Luckily, that ball rolled out of bounds before anyone could jump on it.
Yeah, that's L.J. Turner attempting to field the kickoff on the Bulldogs.
First and 10 on the
Should be the 24.
24-yard line. Tenta brings his Panthers to the line again. 2 backs in the backfield. Tight end in, 2 receivers near side. Tenta's going to hand off. No, he's going to keep it.
No. It was a little option, Caleb, to the right side. He faked a dive. He did pitch it, but Melbourne's there. Only allowed a gain of 1.
2nd and 9.5.
Tough play into the boundary.
Bearing up 2nd and 9. No, they're going to say he lost yardage. 2nd and 12.
Yeah, it looked like the ball came out, went out of bounds there at the end. He did fumble it. Not sure who was the tailback.
That's just something you got to secure. You got to secure that football. Tenta out of the gun, drops back. He's going to swing it out near side.
Wide open on the swing route. That's number 4, LJ Turner.
And someone lost a helmet.
Looks like that was 44, Woody Sweet, that lost his helmet. 3rd and 3. It's a good play call. You know, the Bulldogs are – Scott Grish isn't calling a defense. Logan Pettit is, but it looks a lot like a Scott Grish defense.
Of course, Scott Grish.
At least in the secondary. You know, they got a 4-man front up front. Coach Grish was notorious for that 3-man front, 5-man front, but
Look, took maybe a couple of years step back. Maybe he decided he wanted to throw a little tweak here and there and make the adjustment.
Coach Grish coaching the DBs is in the press box behind us tonight.
And there's the handoff again coming near side.
LJ Turner running his feet. He's got enough for a first down for the Panthers.
And LJ Turner will pick up 5 yards. And it'll be enough for a slow and low first down.
Interesting to see Coach Ainsley back on the offensive side of the ball this year after being on the defense for so long for Heritage, but he knows his stuff, so.
Yes, he does. Again, the 8th longest tenured coach, tied with Coach Nate Hooks over at Holy Trinity.
Interesting enough, that's where Coach Ainsley left when he came to Heritage.
Tenta out of the pistol, 1 wing back. Sends the man in motion. And he'll hand off again to LJ.
Well, Caleb, this Heritage O-line is starting to look like the Melbourne O-line. They're moving bodies up front. That's what we said. You know, both these teams, O-line and D-line, they're stacked. That's where this game's going to be won.
Absolutely. You know, we got talking before the game. I genuinely think this game's going to come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes. And when mistakes are made, who can capitalize on the mistakes. As we saw, Melbourne capitalize on the turnover, picked up the fumble, scored a touchdown. That's what you got to do this type of game.
Absolutely. You got, there's 3 phases: special teams, offense, defense. And offensively, you can't turn the ball over. And defensively, you make big plays when it happens.
2 receivers up top. Wing back near side. Tenta is going to swing it out to that right side. And he will be dropped immediately in the backfield there by number 57.
That was Gavin Rowell on a tackle, and 57 came up. That was Joseph Tenta put that back in a bad spot, caught the ball on his back shoulder, didn't really have much room to work with, but Gavin Rowell read that one all the way.
It will be 3rd and long for the Panthers.
Bringing up 3rd and long for the Panthers. Melbourne is just flying around on the defensive line. You know, Gavin Rowell just made that tackle. He's a very special athlete.
Yeah, I've been watching. Looks like Gavin Rowell's playing the wide side of the field. I mean, he's got the speed and athleticism. So
sends out Turner out wide. Tenta fakes the give.
That's a great play call. He's going to be about a yard short. Fake the jet sweep. Same thing Melbourne did to Heritage. Got the linebackers flowing with the jet sweep, came right back underneath it. It's early, Caleb. You going for it? 4th and 1?
I say if you're Coach Ainsley right now, you got to tell your offense, hey, look, I don't care about the pass. I trust you right now. Go out and go get this first down.
Yep, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Joseph Tenta go on two right here, try to draw him off just like Hunter Turner did. Here's one thing, Caleb, you know, it's 4th and 1 and you're lined up in shotgun. I mean, a lot of people will argue that and get your butt under center and get the first down.
Again, sends Turner out wide.
Receiver on this sideline moved. It was on 2. That's going to hurt. I was interested to see if Coach Ainsley brings out the punt team. I did talk to Coach Ainsley before the game. I mean, he's going to be aggressive, but he did say this is a kickoff classic, and he's looking to, you know, see what his team has right now.
Oh, of course. So I think now you'll see the punting unit come on out.
Looks like number 11, Trey Omer, will be the punter. That's one of those mental mistakes, Caleb, you talked about. You know, you just can't have those. Go from a 4th and 1 to a 4th and 6, and now you're punting the ball.
And
looks like Devin Alves is deep and Kendrick Wright for the Bulldogs.
Taking his steps. High snap. Gets the ball off. And Alves catches, makes a man miss, trying to come near side. And he slips under himself.
Yep.
He had a lot of green grass.
Yeah, he did.
I think those feet got a little happy there.
Well, you got it. You're making a cut. Got to cut on that outside foot. Cut on that inside foot. Your weight's on the inside. You're going to fall every time.
Seniors, remember to set your senior picture times with Dean Stewart Photography.
This next drive
There are no fees for this.
set to be sponsored by Kendall Signs.
Yearbooks, so make sure you make your appointment.
They do all sorts of designs, fabrication, and installation. Give them a call at 321-636-5116. Al and I had a chance to tour their facility over in Rockledge, and it's awesome seeing how well they put those signs together and just how efficient it is. Turner in the gun. Pulls it over the middle. Getting his hands under it there is number 2.
Frankie Santiago with a catch, Caleb. We do got a flag, though.
Pass complete for an 8-yard gain for the Bulldogs.
And we'll see what this flag's about.
There's a flag on the field.
It's being motioned toward against Melbourne.
I think these players are enjoying having the bands back on the fields, too.
Looking for White Hat to signal what the call was.
We got holding on the Bulldogs.
Again, those self-inflicting wounds.
Bring it 1st and 20. Got to fight to get some of it back here. There looks like the Bulldogs are going to try to get one off with 10 seconds left in the first quarter.
Turner hands off and again slipping onto the turf.
Caleb, it's different on this turf. You know, a lot of these schools play on grass. You know, Melbourne's got the advantage just practicing on this turf, so you shouldn't expect to see these kids slipping all over the place.
And that will be the final play of the first quarter. Your score, the Melbourne Bulldogs 10, Heritage Panthers 0. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
Michelle Rycroft with Beach Wave Volleyball Club, and you're watching Brevard Sports Network.
And welcome back to Tom McIntyre Stadium. Caleb Brown, Coach Billy Palmer here, bringing you all the action. Thank you to Michelle Rycroft of Beach Wave Volleyball Club for bringing us back.
2nd and 21 for the Bulldogs.
Turner's
gonna
taking
take
a
another deep
shot. He's got a man. And
he's going to call him out
they're
of bounds, but that's a nice ball, nice catch by Devin Alves. But Tayshawn Benson using that sideline as his friend, kind of keeping that receiver over. You know, Caleb, we talked about before, this series has been odd. You know, Heritage came about in 2009. These teams have only played 7 times. Melbourne won the first one and then didn't win again until last year. And out of 7 matchups, only one of them hasn't been won by more than 21 points. Heritage leads the series 5-2. The closest game was 7-0. Heritage win back in, I think, 2016, 2017. It's Heritage has had Melbourne's number.
Oh, and you know Melbourne would love to catch back up and start
Absolutely.
chipping
You know,
away at that series.
It's been a rough couple years for Melbourne, but hopefully get some stability. They got the players to do it.
Turner scrambling, fires on the move. He's got another man. This time it's caught. 1 man to beat. And he beats him. Touchdown.
That's a heck of a scramble by Hunter Turner. Throws a bomb on 3rd and 21 to Jalen Clark. Trey Omer in coverage. That's a big one for the Bulldogs. That reminded me of the spring game against Astronaut. You know, that's how Melbourne scored. Hunter Turner and Clark, great combination.
Hey, that was just a great throw, and a throw on the run.
Yeah, I mean, Hunter kept his eyes downfield and just scrambled and got rid of the football, you know. Great job by the receiver adjusting back to the middle of the field. And
kick is up. And it's good with 11:35 left in the second quarter. After an 80-yard passing catch from Turner. Melbourne Bulldogs go up 17-0. And we're back live here at Tom McIntyre Stadium.
Caleb, Heritage has to answer here with some kind of points, you know, on the board here. You know, they had a decent drive to start, just mental mistakes, and
another shallow kick. And return there.
Wrapping up the ball carrier at the 40-yard line.
Number 22, Jackie Bowdley. Check that. That's Jackie Bowdy.
First and 10 for the Panthers from their own 40.
So 1st and 10 now for the young sophomore, Joseph Tenta. Comes out in the pistol, 2 receivers near side, 1 tight end. Sends a man in motion, going for a toss sweep near side. Shoved out of bounds.
we're going to pick up about 3
LJ
yards.
Turner.
2-yard pickup for Heritage.
A little scuffle on the sideline here with Logan Kinzel and
2nd and 8.
number 99. That was a great block by Logan all the way to the sideline.
And look, don't be surprised you see a lot of jattering back and forth, especially when you get run off on the team sideline. Like you said, a lot of these kids played with each other and against each other all in Little League. So
absolutely, Caleb. There's 40 to 50 kids here that have they've played with and against each other since they were 8 years old, and Coach Ainsley going to burn a timeout here.
And he didn't look too happy marching off that sideline. I'd like to thank Walk-Ons for being a sponsor here of the Brevard Sports Network. Tell you what, Walk-Ons, you want to go somewhere, watch sports, and have good portions of food, Walk-Ons is the way to go.
I haven't been there up there yet, Caleb. I'm going to have to go check them out.
Listen, as someone who, if you know me, you know I like to partake in a lot of food. Good portions on their food. So to bring up 2nd and 7 for the Panthers.
Melbourne High students, remember, if you're going to try out for a sport, you must
I think Coach Ainsley's having a little bit of a little talking to here. Maybe not so much X's and O's right now, just getting these kids' heads back in the game and play under control and play heritage football.
Going back to that two-back set.
Yeah, a little unbalanced to the boundary here.
Gives it the first back through, and that Melbourne defense swarming everything up. And they're going to call him down by contact.
Caleb, number 4 for Heritage, put the ball on the ground 3 times.
That
he's lucky that they called him down there. I mean, he got his legs taken out, and when he went to the ground, he dropped the ball. But
that's
I know what Coach Angel will be working on with him next week.
And because that's not something you're accustomed to seeing from a Mark Ainsley team. Normally, they're very disciplined, very just ball high and tight, great defense, and again, this is a young squad.
Very young. I mean, but those are mistakes you got to learn from, and take care of that football. Well, I think Coach Eddie Mays calls it that baby.
Yep. Tenta swings it out, and it's going to be intercepted.
Caleb, that's a young mistake by Joseph. The kid was open, but Joseph slipped coming out of his 3-step drop and just tried to force that, and that's a young mistake. Great job by the Bulldog defense capitalizing.
Logan Barnhill had that. He just seemed to have it read all the way through, and as soon as Tenta released it, he was right there.
Yeah, I mean, Joseph's shoulders were facing the sideline. He's trying to throw the ball, and he should have ate it. I mean, young kid trying to make a mistake. You don't blame him, but the way he threw it, the DB was just sitting right on it.
Again, 17-0 with 9:42 left in the first half. Melbourne taking over in Panther territory.
1st and 10 for Melbourne.
Hunter Turner out of the pistol. And he's going to hand that ball off. And Michael Galvin slips a tackle out of the backfield, gets a nice gain of about 8 or 9 yard pickup.
Great run by Michael Galvin, but I'm watching Cody Black lay pancakes on that offensive line. He's doing a great job. Good to see Dawson Cluse back in the lineup as well. After that ACL injury his junior year, he's back on the field, sat out the spring to recover a little more, and it looks like Dawson and Cody on the same side. That's 2 big boys.
Dawson Cluse, 6'1", 300 pounds, and moving it. Turner gives it back off to Galves. Galves!
Well, you good. Well, they're going to call him down.
And looks like. So it's now 3rd and short for the Bulldogs.
I haven't seen a signal yet. Are they? Oh, now we got a flag on the play.
Michael, knock it off. Flag on the field.
I believe Melbourne's keeping possession. In my eyes, he looked down.
Yeah, he looked down from up here, but the referee's got to make a decision. He didn't point either way. He's waiting for the next referee to do it, but it looks like, looking for the call. We're going to have an unsportsmanlike on Melbourne, it looks like.
Again, you can't have those self-inflicting penalties. That 15 yards, that's big to overcome, especially on third down.
Yeah, 3rd and short. Now you're looking at what, 3rd and 17. I think he was a little upset that he thought he fumbled the football, so. They're still having a pretty lengthy discussion here. That looks like Mr. Charlie Sutton, the head official. That guy's been out here forever, Caleb. He was reffing when I was 4 years old.
I mean, you're pretty young, so I mean, I don't know how old that really makes him. But and this is a kickoff classic also for the officials as well, the Mid-Coast Officials Association.
Yeah, it's training from everybody, But obviously, these guys got to get back into it. But, most of these guys are seasoned officials, at least from what I could tell, the ones I know. So, here we are, 3rd and 17.
9:25 left in the half.
I think you're going to see a shot over here to number 1, Owls.
And it looks like they were planning to take a shot, but guess what? Turner's going to take off. Great scrambling ability, and wow. Hey, Turner did a good job delivering the hit instead of taking that hit and picking up that Bulldogs first down.
Yeah, that's a great job by Hunter. He didn't have the protection. He scrambled, and he close to the first down. He kind of looked like he was going to try to get to the sideline, but that Heritage defender just brought the stick with him.
That'll be 4th and short for the Bulldogs.
Ooh.
Well, let's see if Heritage plays it smart, Caleb, and watches the football this time or gives Melbourne a free first down. Yeah, I think you're going to see a run here by Michael Galvin. Yeah, smart, great job by Heritage not jumping off sides.
Turner calls for the ball, gives it to Galvin. Galvin running near side. And yeah, it's still getting a little chippy out there.
Yeah, it depends on which referee you go. It's close here on this sideline. It looks like he might have fell a little short, but the angle we're at, we'll see what they got.
Waiting on the call.
Got a flag on the play, Caleb, so we might not have to even worry about it. Holding on the Bulldogs, that's going to make it 4th and 11.
So you go from 4th and short to 4th and 11. I say, you know what? You bring your punter out here and see if you can pin Heritage here.
I think Heritage is going to go. I think Melbourne's going to go for it. They got the momentum right now. Defense is playing pretty stout. And I'm with you. In a normal game, I think I'm probably punting this, but right now, kickoff classic, why not?
Turner in the gun. The 2x2 set. Drops back, fires. It's going to be caught.
No, that's a great job. Great catch by Jalen Clark. We got a flag on the far sideline. I'm sure it's probably going to be a sideline warning over there. It's not even on the field. The flag is literally sitting on the sideline over there.
.7:52 left in the half. Melbourne up 17-0 on the walk-ons scoreboard. I'd like to thank walk-ons and bring up Beach Wave Volleyball.
It looks like it's going to be a sideline warning on Heritage, so it will be turnover on downs, 1st and 10 Heritage. That's a great tackle by Trey Ulmer. Great play call. Put in Jalen Clark's hands, see if he can shake free and get a couple extra yards. He was stopped, about 2 or 3 yards short?
Ball goes over on downs to Heritage. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Panthers.
All right. Now, if you're Heritage, you really need to score right here. You want to get at least one score on the board before going into the half.
Absolutely, Caleb. Points are needed soon, and points are needed fast.
So let's see what Coach Ainsley elects to do here. Trying anything.
They're going to move Tayshawn Benson to the backfield. So Tayshawn, again, speedy sophomore.
Benson takes it up. He'll get a couple of yards, bringing up 2nd and 8.
Tackled by Woody Sweet of the Bulldogs, number 44. Yeah, Caleb, Heritage definitely needs some momentum here. That sideline, the band stands, it's quiet over there. You know, they are without their number 1 receiver, Ramone. I think he broke his leg in a 7-on-7 camp. He should be back about, 3 or 4 games into the season.
Tenta going to toss it out near side. Cut inside.
It's L.J. Turner on a carry.
And L.J. Turner with a big run. There's some that'll spark some life into that sideline.
That was a great block by number 5, Nakari McIntyre, setting the edge. Caleb, L.J. Turner's he's a tough runner. Just, the only thing I've seen so far is got to hold on to the football. He needs to spend some time with Coach Eddie Mays, an amazing elite football academy.
Absolutely. He'll get you right mind, body, and soul. You want to look at other athletes that have been coached by Eddie Mays. Recently drafted Atlanta Falcon, Javion Hawkins, who, when he was at Louisville, only had, I believe it was, 3 fumbles in his entire career up in Louisville. And after every one of them, he got down and automatically just started doing the push-ups on the field before the next play.
Carry up the middle again.
And off to Turner, and Turner fighting for those yards.
About a 3-yard pickup for Heritage.
Looks like a
2nd and 4.
Looks like a 6-yard pickup to bring up 2nd and 4 for Heritage. 6:38 left in the half. You know what? I like what Heritage is doing. It can't seem to get anything in the passing game. Just let your running backs get back there and tote this football.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to get yourself back in the game. Offensive line's going to work. Run the football and get what you can get, and let's get some momentum going into halftime.
2 tight ends. Now a 2nd man in motion. Number 12 trying to get to the outside, but chased down.
Tayshawn Benson trying to run the jet sweep to the outside. Kivaris Cohen on the tackle for the Bulldogs. Cohen, another sophomore with some great speed and great athleticism for the Bulldogs.
Coach Kintai is just loving the hustle he's getting out of that young man.
Absolutely. I mean, that kid's been a ball player. I coached against him since he was younger. I mean, hey, it don't hurt when Uncle Joe Cohen is your uncle. You know what I mean? One thing I have noticed, Caleb, is Melbourne does like to flip their corners and their DN to the wide side. So, I mean, Coach Pettit playing smart with his speed.
Tenta out of the pistol. Drops back, surveys, fires. Wow, what a hit over the middle.
That was a great stick by Kivaris Cohen. I think 16 saw it come and put his hands down. I don't agree with that flag, Caleb.
No.
That was a football play. What'd you want the kid to do? But, we see it all day on Saturdays and Friday night.
I mean, I didn't see him hit high. I mean, he hit him in the chest.
Well, even if, he hit him in the shoulder pads, right in the dang thigh, what'd you want the kid to do, Full speed contact. It's not his fault that the ball went higher, the receiver didn't catch it. He's playing his position and, but they're going to call personal foul on Melbourne. Should give Heritage a 1st down.
And
Against the Bulldogs.
an official's timeout being taken.
Out on the field.
So with the officials taking a timeout, we will too. With a word from our sponsors, your score, the Bulldogs 17, the Panthers 0, 5:04 left in the half.
First and 10 from the Melbourne 29-yard line.
You know what? And big penalty. Again, though, this is where Heritage, they need to capitalize here.
Absolutely.
Tenta hands it off to Turner. And Turner gets maybe 3 or 4 on the play.
Gavin Rowell, you know, Nakari McIntyre, Gavin Rowell matched up on the outside, and Gavin just made a play. But if you're Heritage, you'll take it. That's a 4-yard gain. You know, I'm surprised to see that Nakari McIntyre hasn't touched the ball all that much for the Panthers. You know, he was a leading rusher last year until he broke his wrist in the Palm Bay game. Nakari's a great kid, man. I coached him in West Melbourne. More importantly, Caleb, he's a 4.0 GPA student.
Love that. Getting it done on the field and the classroom. Tenta sends a man in motion. Takes a snap. Surveys. He's going to sling it out wide. Great tackle there.
Yep. Speaking of Nakari McIntyre, right on the catch, but the Melbourne defense is right there.
It's third down for the Panthers.
It'll bring up 3rd and 6 for the
Caleb,
Panthers.
I was interested to see how number 17 played for the Panthers. Conrad Bryant transferred in from the this summer. You know, he's 6'4", 205, so the size is there. But you know, it takes some kids some used to getting to this Florida-style football.
Right,
3rd and 7.
Big 3rd and 7 here for the Panthers. 3:20 left in the half. Backfield now empty, and Coach Ainsley wants to take another timeout.
Heritage takes the timeout with 3:17 left on the clock.
Caleb, I don't know if that was a let me motion them out and see what they're going to adjust to, call timeout, or if Coach Ainsley saw something he didn't like.
Or the candy bar you've been thinking about the whole first half. You're going to want to stick around at halftime to watch the Pride of Mile High perform their performance for this year. So get fed before you can be back and watch it.
Somebody told me Panthers is spelled wrong in the header. It'll be all right. Are we live?
I believe they did. What was the bet? What was the bet?
Any boys interested in playing soccer this year?
All right.
Room 908. See Coach McIntyre.
Again, big 3rd down. What would you call here?
Well, Caleb, it's 3rd and long. I mean, you got some of those in your playbook. I could see, maybe a little flood route wide to the right side of the field. You got your usual screen plays, but, I'd probably, knowing what I got, I'd probably try to attack and get half of it here. Not try to force a first down. I'm sorry, I can stutter in my words here.
Here we go, big 3rd and 7.
Officials are still talking to Coach Ainsley and number 60.
Having a talk with Connor Robinson.
He's only a sophomore. That's a big boy, too. He's going to be a special player for the Panthers.
Yes, he will. It's nice to knowing you have that kind of protection up there on the line at such a young age.
Absolutely.
tried the fake, and Joseph Tenta will be sacked in the backfield.
3-yard loss for the Panthers will make it 4th and 10.
That was not the play call I was expecting.
Well, a little
coming on
midline
that third
read,
down.
but you know you got a smart football player in Gavin Rowell who's going to sit on that and make a great play. You know, Gavin Rowell and Ford Watson on the same side. Ford Watson sat out last year with an ACL injury he suffered in wrestling, and good to see him back on the field. He's always been a monster.
That Melbourne D-line is just so athletic. Here it is, 4th and 10. 2:26 left in the half. And I think Melbourne's taking a timeout.
Bulldogs take a timeout to talk over their options.
All right, so with the Bulldogs taking this timeout with 2:25 left in the half, we are also going to take a timeout here on the Brevard Sports Network.
Hello, Space Coast. Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the Brevard Sports Network. I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of you for your support of BSN and allowing us to cover your student athletes and come into your home each and every night. Give us a follow on Facebook at Brevard Sports Network, and here's to many more years of top-notch sports coverage right here in Brevard County. Thanks again.
Hey, this is Devon Dudley, and you are watching Brevard Sports Network. Oh, my brother, testify.
Thank you to Alan Slaughter-Zinski and Devon Dudley as the stands start to rock. Man in motion, Tenta fakes the pitch, fires to the end zone. Touchdown, Heritage.
That's a great play call. Fake the toss, drag route across the field. And Joseph Tenta to Tayshawn Benson gives exactly what the Panthers need and puts 6 on the board. Great play call.
Tayshawn Benson catching the pass from Joseph Tenta. And you know what? That could be the spark you need going here into the half.
Well, it looks like Heritage is going to go for 2, Caleb. Coach Ainsley
That's definitely an interesting call.
asking to move the ball to the hash mark. So we'll see what the Panthers got here. Obviously, this was planned from the get-go. Hey, why not? Kickoff Classic, work on your 2-point plays. You never know when you're going to need them throughout the season. A little game experience. That or they might not have a kicker, Caleb. I don't know which one. But I'll go with the latter half that he's getting some game experience.
You know what? I like that assumption there. Tenta rolling out, rolling near side, looking. And he will be wrapped up in the backfield, sacked.
Great coverage by the Bulldogs. I think if Joseph's going to make that decision to run, it's got to be a little bit earlier because he met a brick wall and Marquell Ford Watson, big F-250 that they call him here around campus at Melbourne High School.
So with 2:16 left in the half, the Panthers get on the board, but your score is the Bulldogs 17, the Panthers 6. As you see that graphic on the screen, I am fixing the scoreboard. Doing a little score updating there, and scoreboard decided it wanted to play peekaboo with me.
Well, Caleb, we got 2 minutes left until halftime. I expect Melbourne to come out aggressive, try to get it, another one on the scoreboard before half.
Do you think onside kick here? Just
Nah. I mean, I think we're going to see a squib kick, but I wouldn't call it on. Oh, onside.
And that
I mean,
kick muffed and great coverage.
You can't ask for anything better than that. You know, ball to 25-yard line.
Getting the ball to the 25. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs.
Those kicks are always the worst, Caleb. They're low line drives, balls all over the place.
And a lot of times you're having guys down there who don't normally touch the ball a lot. Usually a lot of your safeties or cornerbacks.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, that looked like a knuckleball coming down to number 30, and he just smartly finally got a hold of it and just went to the ground.
Hunter Turner now returns to the field. Drops back to pass. Steps up, fires. It's going to be caught, and he's going to get out of bounds with 2:09 left.
They're actually going to keep him in bounds. The referee's going to call the tackle out of bounds, not going to let him get out. Clock is still going to run. I thought he got out, Caleb, just like you said. But, Melbourne's going to be aggressive. 2 minutes till halftime, 2nd and 1.
Practice a little 2-minute offense here.
Absolutely. Game situation, just.
Turner, hands off. Tries to bounce near side. Galvin looking. That time, no doubt he was out of bounds there.
Yep. Great job by Bryce Harris.
And that's a 1st down. Bull.
Looks like.
And that'll bring up a amazing elite football academy 1st down.
Michael Galvin tried to go up the middle, saw there was nothing there, bounced it to the outside. Doing a great job carrying the rock tonight. I know that was one of our question marks coming into the game. How would the Melbourne's run game be losing somebody like Tony Wright? But Michael Galvin's putting his work in.
Turner, hands off. Slipping through tackles, ball's out.
That was a good, strong run. Defenders poking at it. Great job by Cody Black recovering the ball for Michael Galvin. Well, Caleb, but that's my count. That's 5 fumbles between the two teams tonight. It's early, but it's,
Again, we both know what both programs will be focusing on heading into week 1.
Yep.
Everybody is going to be focusing on ball security.
Absolutely. Melbourne's going to burn another timeout. They should have 1 left. There's 1 minute and 25 left till halftime.
17-6, Bulldogs over the Panthers. And here comes the Panthers. Now, for halftime, here's what we're going to do. We are going to leave the scoreboard up. I will have the microphones muted, but we are going to charge up our equipment. We will stay here, and you will be able to watch the band performance. Turner, out of the gun. Surveys the field, steps up, fires, and it's caught. 1 man to beat.
That's a great throw by Hunter Turner to number 4, Wadsworth. Number 14, Tashon Townsend gambled a little bit on the throw, and Hunter Turner put it in there tight. And, hey, 1st and 10. Looks like we got an injured Panther on the field.
And they will be in the slow and low barbecue red zone.
Turner to Wadsworth for about a 35-yard completion.
Turner to Wadsworth for 35 yards on that completion. That, like you said, that was just a perfectly thrown football.
That's a big play by Melbourne with 1 minute and 8 left, driving on the 14-yard line. Like I said, Hunter Turner throws a great ball. Another great ball right there to Devin Alves, and he's going to almost squeak through. He's going to be down on about a 2-yard line.
Bulldogs down to the 1.
I know what I'm doing here. Down at the 1, you give it to Galvin and let him power on through in there.
Galvin or stick Hunter Turner under center and get what you can get. I mean, I know that's these new style offenses, but hey, it don't hurt to get under center and get what you can get.
Oh, no.
Oh, Heritage is going to burn their final timeout. 50 seconds left in the first half.
50 seconds left here in the first half. Bulldogs up 17-6, but the Bulldogs are knocking on the door. you're right. It doesn't hurt to put that quarterback under center.
I get it. I mean, that's everybody's offenses nowadays. But, you know, when it's 4th and 1 and your quarterback starts 6 yards behind the ball, you know, put his butt under center and old school, get the first down and get what you got to do. And then you can take your butt right back to shotgun and run what you want to run. But, hey, you know, everybody's got their own philosophies, Caleb, and everybody's offenses are different. And, you know, Hunter Turner, he's played a great first half so far. So,
Again,
I think you're right. I think Michael Gavin's going to get the rock here and try to get 6 more on the board for the Bulldogs.
I don't know if Melbourne has one installed yet. I would send in that big boy package, maybe send one of those D linemen in at fullback.
Yeah, you know, you don't really see that anymore. I know you see with Coco with, you know, big Day back there, but you don't really see that anymore with a lot of teams. You called it, Caleb, Michael Gavin, but he's trying to get outside.
And
I'm not quite
Nope.
sure he made it.
They are going to call him out at the 1-inch.
Second and goal from the half-yard line for the Bulldogs.
I know he's got the speed, but
I mean,
get north and south and get in the end zone.
as Alan likes to point out on several occasions, the quickest way between 2 points is straight ahead.
Absolutely.
Second and about the width of a sneaker for the
Let's go,
Bulldogs.
bud, right here.
Galvin again. This time he tries to go up the middle.
It is a touchdown.
And touchdown, Michael Galvin.
That's a great answer by the Bulldog offense. Get it 6 more on the board here before halftime. That makes it's a big gap for Heritage to close in the second half.
37 seconds left in the half. Pending the extra point, it's 23-6 Bulldogs.
You know, I like the play call by Stephen Hughes. Reward Michael Galvin. He's had a pretty decent first half. You know, let him get in the end zone.
Kick is up and good.
Turner on the hold, McDonald on the kick.
Caleb, not a bad first half so far for Melbourne.
The first half is your Melbourne Bulldogs 24 and the visiting Panthers.
I will say this. I watched the spring game here, and I think it was 7-0 Melbourne. That offense struggled mightily in that spring game against Ashnot. And that's no disrespect to Ashnot. They're a great football team, too, and they got a lot of athletes. But Melbourne struggled. You know, they're looking, you know, great start to their season this first half.
There's the cheerleaders doing the leg kicks for how many points are on that scoreboard.
Back in my day, they used to do push-ups when we scored, Caleb.
Vieira's cheerleading squad still does that.
And I think that was the Miracles here. I don't think it was our cheerleaders, but either way, great support. You know, the Melbourne Miracles and the Melbourne cheerleaders have always been great for the football program here in Melbourne.
Squib kick.
We got a flag on the far side. Should be offsides on Melbourne.
Offsides, it'll probably have him re-kick. 37 seconds left in the half. Look, if you're Heritage, I say you get the ball, you take a knee, and you go make your adjustments.
Absolutely. I think Coach Angel's going to have a great halftime for him. Like I said, I mean, it wasn't the best half for him, but I'm sure they've had worse. And, you know, Coach Angel's going to try to correct things. And, you know, like I said, it's Kickoff Classic, lots of learning, lots of experience gained from here. And, you know, move forward and, you know, try not to repeat the same mistake you had in the first half.
And move the ball back 5 yards.
They're going to re-kick.
Heritage is going to make them re-kick.
And another squib.
Ooh.
Wow. That That is a dangerous hit. You don't want to come launching upward into anyone with a football.
No, I mean he got lucky. He came with his hands first. I think if he would have had his forearms, it might have been a 15-yarder. But his hands came before his body, and you know.
Look, I get it. Football is going to be naturally a violent sport, but I have always commended football for trying to take out.
Well, you got to protect the players' heads. You can't take headshots.
The John Lynch headshots of back in the day, where it almost seemed like you're trying to decapitate somebody.
Absolutely. I mean, that's you listen to these kids talk. That's what they want to do. They want to knock a kid's head off. That's the verbiage they use. You know what I mean?
Tenta fires over the middle, and it's intercepted.
That's Woody Sweet on the interception. It looked like Heritage tried the same play. They scored on the touchdown just the opposite way. And, you don't blame Coach Ainsley for taking a shot.
No.
I mean, hopefully your defense is going for the next 22 seconds. Not much different, but doesn't look good for the Joseph Tenta stat line. Luckily, this is a kickoff classic. Won't count towards the regular season.
Right. Again, this just seems very uncharacteristic for a Mark Ainsley coach football team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's just it. That's a hard throw. You're faking a toss. Your back's to the defense. You turn around, and he fired it right away. Didn't take that much time to read the defense, but
hands off to Galvin.
Great job by Tashon Townsend and the Panthers wrapping up Michael Galvin. See if Melbourne lets this one roll to half.
And that looks like it will be the final play of the half.
Well, Caleb, not a bad first half back in action for the 2021 football season.
No, it's not, especially if you're a Melbourne Bulldog. You got to be happy with that first half performance. Look, Coach Mark Ainsley's going to go and make those adjustments, and I think we'll see a better effort coming out of the Panthers in that second half.
Absolutely. Both teams are going to make their adjustments. And, I don't think Melbourne's going to let off the gas, and Heritage is going to make some corrections, and I think we're going to have a great second half.
All right, we're going to take a break here. We will be with you to start the second half right here. Your halftime score, the Bulldogs 24, the Panthers 6. We'll be right back. Apologize for that technical difficulty, everybody. It's the magic of live TV. Sometimes the programs don't cooperate. But we are back to bring you the second half of action. Caleb Brown, Coach Billy Palmer here on the Brevard Sports Network.
Well, good thing you have an air when it's halftime, Caleb. We haven't missed a play.
And that kick is deep.
Different kicker for the Bulldogs to start the second half.
And L.J. Turner down the sideline before finally being wrestled out of bounds. Well, that's an electric start that you needed.
Great
if you're
job
Heritage.
by Heritage. Maybe that's why Melbourne wasn't kicking it deep, Caleb.
Maybe that's the first deep kick we've seen today.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Panthers.
Well, I think Coach Ainsley's made some adjustments, and let's see what Joseph Tenta and the young Heritage Panthers come out with to start the second half, Caleb.
All right. Tenta comes out, 2 wingbacks, wide out, far side. Man in motion, Tenta slings and fires.
Great
And
catch
that'll be
by
a good 5-yard gain.
number 17 for the Panthers. Conrad Bryant on the reception. Should be
2nd and 7.
Check that was a 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7 for the Panthers. And look, I think that's what the Panthers need. Just some quick, easy throws, try to get Tenta's confidence back up under him. Look, Heritage can still come back.
Oh, we got plenty of football left, The Heritage defense didn't play all that terrible. They were just, they were on the field a lot with some turnovers on offense and, no long drives by the offense.
Tenta hands off up the middle. Talk about breaking one.
That was a great play, great blocking up front by the Panthers. Tell you what, LJ Turner can carry the ball.
First and 10 from the 27.
And, you know, I think they're starting to go back to what they started having success with in that first half, that running it right up the gut, that midline type of run.
Follow the big guys, Caleb. Follow the big guys. They'll take you to pay dirt.
Tenta calls for the ball. Going to go right back up in that offensive line, moving bodies.
Well, Caleb, you know, there's something goes on in the coaching world. If it works, guess what? I'm going to run it again until you stop it.
5-yard pickup for Heritage.
Good 5-yard gain by Tayshawn Benson.
That was a big Vince Lombardi adage. Guess what? I'm going to keep running it right until they stop me. And then when they stop me going right, I'll go left.
I mean, that Heritage O-line is big. Like I said, we talked about it pregame and a little bit of first half. Both teams' defensive lines, both teams' offensive lines are very successful.
Tenta dropping back. He's going to fire, take a shot at the end zone. Out of bounds.
That was a good throw by Joseph Tenta to the back shoulder. Wasn't double coverage, but – you know, not a bad shot to hit it up to the 6'4" wide receiver. 3rd and 5 for the Panthers. This will be 2-down territory here for the Panthers, and Coach Ainsley's going to try to at least get half of it here.
Well, that's the thing. When you have a wide receiver that's 6'4", sometimes even when they're not open, they're still open.
Yeah.
And he threw it good where either his guy was going to get it or it was going sailing out of bounds.
Yeah, it was a great back shoulder throw by Joseph.
Tenta sends a man in motion. Goes to that toss, trying to get to the outside.
Great play by Devin Alves of the Melbourne Bulldogs. Devin held the edge, and now we do got a flag on a play. I did see a Melbourne player throw a Heritage helmet.
There's a flag on the play.
That'll be an unsportsmanlike. That'll give Heritage a first down.
If it sticks, yeah, 44 for the Bulldogs. I don't look like Kane Avila was blocking them for the Panthers, number 25, and next thing you know, there's a helmet being thrown down the field.
But one question I'm having is, you were having a lot of success running it up the middle, and then trying to keep going outside with not much success.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know the thought process behind that. You know, I'm not going to question Coach Ainsley. He knows a lot more football than I do, but you know, you're right, Caleb. You know, what if I kept running up the gut?
Right.
They are going to wave off the flag. I didn't think the referee saw it because he turned around and looked after it already happened. So it will be 4th and 8 for the Panthers from the 25-yard line.
Tenta surveys the field. He's going to fire over the middle. Thrown into traffic. Another interception. Down the sideline. He's got a convoy. Finally being shoved out of bounds.
Well, Coach, Caleb, I think Joseph Tenta going to want to have that one back. If he waited a half second, 17 was wide open on the right side of the field. He forced that one in the middle. There was 2 receivers in the same spot, which means there's 2 DBs in the same spot. I think Joseph would like to have that back one, but a great play by Kivaris Cohen. Great return. Bulldogs take over in Heritage territory, 1st and 10.
.8:34 left in the third quarter. Bulldogs up 24-6. And now Hunter Turner in that offense returns to the field. That's the 4th turnover by the Panthers. Turner hands off to Galvin.
Great stick by Tayshawn Benson. Nice run, Michael Galvin's going to be a pickup of 4. I think Caleb, I think these guys are liking to hit somebody in a different color jersey for the first time in a month.
Oh, yeah, it's good to try to get that out of your system now. I mean, you want to get those hits early. Remember what it's like to be hit by somebody else who's not trying to ease up on you in practice.
Yeah, those 3 or 4 weeks of practice, you kind of get bored hitting the same color.
Turner swings it out far side. Great pursuit.
Ball, great reception, but Devin Alves has to stay on that block on number 29. Great play by number 29 of the Panthers.
Third down for Melbourne.
Bringing up third down now for the Bulldogs. Third and about 7. Turner scrambles near side, looking, eyes down the field, thrown.
Great play by Hunter Turner, getting out of, avoiding a sack. I think he was hoping Jalen Clark would work back towards the middle of the field. I don't think the Bulldogs' offensive line's given up a sack tonight so far.
No, they have not. So that'll bring up. Don't see the down marker.
Should be 4th and 8 for the Bulldogs.
All right, I'm going to trust you there. 4th and 8.
Little quick punt. Thomas Wadsworth lined up in the backfield.
And that's going to get in the end zone for the touchback. Give the Panthers 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line.
Well, no damage done by the interception, but a lot of time came off the clock.
Thank a few more sponsors. Certified Thermographic Services.
I'd like to thank Slow and Low for their sponsorship. Also like to thank Sun Shop. Give Mr. Dan Hancock a call at 321-213-8363 or visit them online at mysunshop.com.
And Associates. Thank you for your continued support of Melbourne football. 1st and 10 for the Panthers from the own 20.
Tenta hands off.
Caleb,
And
you
again,
called it last series. You come right back to the bread and butter that's working for the Heritage Panthers.
and some more pushing and shoving extracurricular.
Well, we got about 3 flags on the field now, Caleb. I think we're past the beyond friendship here. I think this is getting a little chippy.
Getting chippy. I mean, look, 24-6. You're getting irritated.
Multiple flags on the play. Personal foul with ejection.
Oh, that's
Well,
not good.
It may be his 2nd personal foul, or it was that bad it warrants an ejection.
Which that's really not good because then fines come the school's way at that point.
Yes, and unfortunately for number 3, if it is him, he could be missing some games. You never want to see that. Caleb, hopefully there was no punches thrown because that's it's not anything you need to see. And I know neither one of those coaches on either sideline would want that happening in the game.
No, and I don't think anybody really wants to see punches thrown. Look, it's a kickoff classic. You don't want to go missing meaningful football games with discipline issues.
Well, especially if, like I said, number 3, Kendrick Wright, if he's a senior, that's not a good way to start your senior season.
All right, here we go. Tenta again handing it off, and look at that running style.
6-7 yards, pick it up. I'm going to run it till they stop me.
That'll bring up 2nd and 6.
Be interested to see if Coach Ainsley tries to attack that corner now that number 16 has entered the game instead of number 3.
So here come the Panthers.
Looks like 16 is Cameron Goodnight.
Tenta hands it off again and up the middle and just gashing up the middle for yards.
You know, that's a great run. You know, Ford Watson makes the tackle, but I know Coach Pettit's going to be asking the D lineman why he's making a tackle 6 yards down the field. We're at a referee break for a water break.
So water break with 6:02 left in the third quarter. Your score, the Bulldogs 24, the Heritage Panthers 6. We'll be back after a message from our sponsor.
This is homeowner Harry. He's a family man, and today he's examining his utility bills. He's wondering why his utility costs, especially the cost of energy, is so high. He wishes there was an alternative that could cost him lower than his present bills. Luckily for him, there is. Here's Dan from Sun Shop at his door. Dan has come to explain to him how going solar can help him lower his utility cost and solve his worries. Homeowner Harry lets Dan in, and he explains to him how the sun will fuel his home when he goes solar. Dan also breaks everything down to him on how his bills would be lower, and he'll be helping the planet in his own little way at the same time. He was pleased with all what he has heard about going solar with Sunshop. Thanks to Dan from Sunshop, his home is now powered by solar, and now he's all smiles and happy. No worries for him, as he's now in control of his monthly utility bills. Contact Dan with Sunshop below today to go solar too.
And welcome back to Melbourne High School. 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Hands it off. And again, that run game now to the outside. LJ Turner churning up yards.
I'll tell you what, man, that kid can run the football, offensive line block, and he's having himself a pretty good half.
And that'll
he's got
be
some speed and he's got some power with him.
Beachway volleyball, first down. Got a student athlete who wants to play volleyball, learn about the sport, hone their craft. Give Coach Michelle Rydcroft and Beachway volleyball a call at 321-243-8456. Tenta again going to hand it right up the middle and slashing and gashing. One arm tackle brought down LJ Turner. If that tackle doesn't get made, I think LJ's celebrating in the end zone right now.
I think you're right, Caleb. Number 30 barely got a hold of that other leg. LJ tried getting over him. But nonetheless, 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2 for the Panthers.
Second and 2. As they are inside the Beachway volleyball red zone.
This has been a long drive for the Panthers. It's only been 2 minutes off the game clock, but it seems like a long drive.
And in motion. Again, going to continue to hammer it up the gut. There's 5, 6, looks to be 6 or 7 yards on the play.
Tayshawn Benson with a carry. It looks like Coach Ainsley's just going to keep cycling them backs, and if it looks like the same play, that's probably because it is, Caleb, and it's working for the Panthers.
Just keep the fresh legs in there, rotate, come by, get a swig of water, go back out.
Well, the Panthers haven't had much success on the outside with Gavin Rowell and Jafari Clark. And, they're getting it up the middle. They're gashing the Bulldog defense right now.
1st and goal on the 4-yard line. Check that, the 6. Tenta, hands up off the middle, getting to the outside, reaching, and they're going to call him down at about the 2 or 1 yard line.
He came up just short. It was Tayshawn Benson to get on the carry. Looks like he may be down.
We don't show injuries here on the Brevard Sports Network.
Caleb, I will say this. Melbourne looked like they sent the house up the middle, so Tayshawn bounced it. I mean, it looks like he might be cramping. I will say this, Caleb. Heritage has one of the best trainers in Brevard County. Enrique Doc Luna. I call him Uncle Enrique. He was my trainer here at Melbourne. He's just one of the best.
You know, and it's important when in your high school program that you have those good quality trainers, keeping the kids healthy. And, look, they make a difference on a team.
Absolutely. You know, Heritage has that sports medicine class, so he's able to get some students in there to help them. And, you know.
And they're going to bring it back. 4:12 left in the third quarter. Melbourne knocking on the door at the 1 yard. Check that. Heritage knocking on the door on the 1 yard line. I say you go back to what's working. Give it right back to your running back and try to continue to slash him in the middle.
I agree, Caleb. But hey, you know what? I mean, we talked about this earlier. It don't hurt to get under center here either, does it?
No. You know, that strategy's worked well for a 7-time Super Bowl winning quarterback in Tom Brady.
Yeah, you know, Joseph Tenta, 6 foot, 190. I'd be willing to take a bet he can get in that end zone. You know what I'm saying?
That middle of your offensive line's been strong. Just tell Tenta get low and squirt forward.
I tell you, he can do it because 2 years ago when you guys broadcasted when Joseph was my quarterback at West Melbourne, playing against Vero Beach. I put it on his shoulders, and he's capable.
Here we go. Instead, they're gun motions a man. Looks like they're going to hand it off to Turner.
Easy.
Turner off the right side. Touchdown, Panthers.
That's exactly what Heritage need. I would expect another 2-point conversion here for Heritage. I'm sorry, 2-point attempt. That was a great drive by the Panthers.
Just keep doing what's working. If they're going to keep letting you get 4, 5, 6 yards up the middle.
It looked like that time the defensive coordinator, Logan Pettit, may have, pinched his defensive ends inside. Gavin Rowell shoots inside. LJ slides outside. Easy 6 for the Panthers.
Tenta hands off to Turner. Turner slicing and dicing in for the 2-point conversion. So, with 4:08 left in the third quarter, Heritage gets on the board for the first time in the second half, 24-14.
Caleb, Coach Ainsley going to keep running that play until the Bulldogs figure out a way to stop it.
I mean, you just take a look at the crowd here. It is a packed house here on the Melbourne side. And you know what? Even if you look across the way over there, Heritage fans have come out in force tonight. Touchdown brought to you by Beach Wave Volleyball Club.
Yeah, Caleb, absolutely. Hey, it's the first Friday night, Everybody's been waiting for this to come back.
Back deep to kick. And what a catch on that squibber. And there's another
Caleb,
flag.
There we go with the chippiness. I mean, it's not a it's Kickoff classic, man. I know Coach McIntyre and Coach Ainsley are going to handle this discipline no problem come this week because it'd be a long season if they have to deal with 15-yarders every time.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, that's about the 5th or 6th unsportsmanlike conduct penalty in this game.
Absolutely. Coach Panucci is all in his ear, too. You know, Todd Wilson used to, he'd ream us for that, Caleb, back when I played here. And, you're not bigger than a team. So those are costly penalties, especially in big games. Like Melbourne, if they were playing the Vieira Hawks right now, 15 yards hurt you.
For some reason, I'm having this vision. It's going to be a lot of running on Monday at practice.
Oh, for sure.
So Hunter Turner comes back on the field for his second drive of the second half. And then give it to Galvin. Galvin slicing and dicing, making people miss.
That's a great move by Michael Galvin. Picked up 11 yards. That's a great run. We got an injured Panther on the field.
Again, we do not show injuries here on the Brevard Sports Network. It'll be an official's timeout. You know what? While we take this injury timeout, let's go ahead and get a word from our sponsors. Ubrazati.
Hello, Space Coast. Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the Brevard Sports Network. I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of you for your support of BSN and allowing us to cover your student athletes and come into your home each and every night. Give us a follow on Facebook at Brevard Sports Network, and here's to many more years of top-notch sports coverage right here in Brevard County. Thanks again.
All right. The injured Panther looks to be walking off, being helped off, but mostly walking out on his own power.
Yep, Zachary Sejean, great kid. Never want to see anybody get hurt out here.
Turner calls for the ball, fakes to Galvin, and there's Alves with the reception.
Number 8, Osterley on the tackle. That's another great throw by Hunter Turner.
And that's a first down, Bulldog.
And that will be a Kendall Signs first down. Turner getting his calls from the coach. Takes a snap, another play action, and nearly intercepted.
That's a great jump by Tayshawn Benson. He must have seen it the entire time on the stick route by Devin Alves. Not a bad ball by Hunter, but a great play by Tayshawn Benson.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Bulldogs.
2nd and 10 for the Bulldogs.
Caleb, I look for Melbourne to do a little stop and go here at some point, because if Heritage is going to start jumping those stick routes, it's going to be open deep.
Galvin still in the backfield. Turner calls, fakes it, and he's got him one-on-one. Incomplete. Great defense there by
Heritage coach called a blitz late. Bryce Harris gets up the middle. Hunter Turner steps aside, makes a miss, delivers a good ball, but again, great coverage by Tayshawn Benson.
Tayshawn Benson's a name everyone's going to want to keep listening out for, because excellent coverage tonight he has played.
Tayshawn's an exceptional athlete, Caleb. Comes from a list of, his uncle, Michael Benson, played at Bayside, played at FAMU, two-time Arena Bowl champion. So I think it runs in the Benson bloodline. I think they have a saying called Benson built, and Tayshawn is definitely that.
Turner surveys the field, steps up, fires, and it looks like
Tayshawn Benson, we keep talking about him. There he goes with another interception.
Benson said, I hear my ears ringing. That means it's time for me to make a play.
I think
and it looked like Alves was trying to draw the.
It looked like Heritage may have gotten away with a slight pass interference. Hunter took a shot, double coverage to a much bigger Alves, but hey, we just talked about Tayshawn Benson. He's a special athlete and great play.
He is. I'm not sure it was a pass interference. It just looked like Alves just ran into Benson, but they were both going for the ball.
Yeah, I mean, again, just a great play by Tayshawn, reacting to the football.
Hamilton Masonry, Inlet Mechanical, Ken Farrington Tractor, Chris Cluse with Suncoast Realty, and the Estate Group.
So Tenta comes back out onto the field. This is where you got to capitalize right here. Tayshawn Benson just came out and made a play for you. There's that pitch to the outside. And L.J. Turner down the sideline before being shoved out of bounds. Now that outside stuff's working.
Caleb, Heritage is going to run the ball, and they're going to run the ball down your throat. I think they realized that in the halftime. You know what? Get a quick score here. We're sitting at 24-21, and we're not even in the fourth quarter yet.
2 minutes and 45 seconds left after that big run shoved out of bounds. L.J. Turner. And
big play off the
back.
interception for L.J. Turner. Panthers got the momentum right now.
Ball carrier out of bounds at the 45.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. Benson in motion. Gives it back to Turner, who's cutting up the. He just is slicing and dicing up the middle. L.J. Turner.
That Melbourne defensive line is gassed. They are getting gashed by the Heritage offense right now. That Heritage O-line has come to life. And L.J. Turner, well on his way to over 100 yards rushing, is having a great second half.
Run until they stop it. And you're seeing it right now. Look, hands on hips.
Melbourne's defense got hands on hips. That's exactly what you were going to say, Caleb. They look tired. They look gassed. I've seen Gavin Rowell grab his calf a couple times. He may be cramping.
Tenta, short pass. It's caught. Wow, what a hit.
Great quick throw by Coach Ainsley, trying to keep the Bulldog defense honest, but I think everybody in the stadium knows right now who's going to carry the ball.
And now that just gives this defense something else now to think about. Wait a minute, now he's throwing that ball. It's still short, but guess what? It's getting completed. Lions back up in the gun. Tenta sending that man in motion. And they're going to try this sweep to the near side. Spins off one tackle, but finally wrapped back up.
It's going to be close to the first down, maybe a gain of 1 or 2. We'll see where they mark it. It looks like a 3rd and short for the Panthers.
Third and maybe a yard.
Well, Caleb, I think the Panthers might be running this one up the middle here.
Why not? Comes back in, giving his orders to the huddle.
Well, look at that. Joseph Tenta's under center. Oh, I'm surprised he didn't keep that. Tayshawn Benson up the middle.
And
that's
Benson
a Panther touchdown.
Into the end zone. Touchdown, Heritage.
Guess who? Tayshawn Benson.
So,
I think that's a reward from Coach Ainsley. You make a great play on defense, you get an interception. I'm going to reward you on offense. Dual athlete, great play by Tayshawn Benson. Great job by the Heritage O-line on that drive.
And guess what? With that score, that puts Heritage right back in this game.
Absolutely. 17 seconds left in the third quarter. Right now it's 24-20. Heritage attempting 2-point conversion.
If they can get this 2-point conversion, that'll cut the lead to 2.
This Melbourne defense has been on the field a lot in the third quarter. They look tired.
Hands off to Turner, who's wrapped up and stopped in the backfield.
Great job by Gavin Rowell.
2-point conversion denied with 17 seconds left in the third quarter.
But yes, with 17 seconds left in the third quarter, this Heritage team is now alive, down by 4. That touchdown was brought to you by Kendall Signs. So Tayshawn Benson gets the interception and then gets a chance to put it in the end zone for the touchdown.
Yeah, it's quiet on this sideline like it was in Heritage in the first half. Heritage has all the momentum. Hunter Turner needs to lead a scoring drive here for the Bulldogs.
And guess what? You can hear that Heritage side. The team even telling the crowd, hey, we're only down by 4. We are back in this thing.
Not sure what we're waiting on. Oh, looks like we got an official with an injury over here on the Melbourne sideline. Looks like they're wrapping him up. Caleb, we got a score update from Mr. Lavin. Vieira 23, Olympia 27. Not sure what quarter or if that's a final, but the Hawks are trailing.
Not sure what the delay's about here.
Just we got an official right here on the sideline, on the Melbourne sideline.
All right, ball set on the tee. And here we go, 17 seconds left. Again, the kick is short.
Ooh, big stick
hit.
by the Panthers.
Great coverage by that kickoff team.
Listen, that Panthers sideline is going crazy right now, Caleb.
Bulldogs special team bringing the ball to 30. First and 10 for Melbourne.
Coach, in the first half, it was hard to hear each other because this whole side of the crowd was just going berserk. And now, I feel like you could whisper and I hear you.
It's quiet over here right now, but like I said, I think Hunter Turner's going to wake him up. Got 7 seconds left to get to this fourth quarter, and It's going to be an entertaining one.
24-20 there on the Kendall Signs scoreboard.
Melbourne needs at least a decent drive here to give that defense a break. They spent a lot of the third quarter on defense.
And Turner's going to hand off to Galvin. Galvin going to get 4 yards up the middle.
Caleb, he's going to pick up 2. Melbourne's got their running back so deep. He literally only picked up 2 yards on that carry and looked like way more, but that's going to be the end of the third quarter.
All right, that being the final play of the third quarter. Your score, the Melbourne Bulldogs 24, the Heritage Panthers 20. We'll be back with the start of the fourth quarter in just a minute. Thank you, Brazotti, for your sponsorship of youth sports. And here comes Alves, trying to squirt up his way.
He made with it what he could. Great job by the Panther defense. Going to bring up 3rd and 7 for the Bulldogs. This is a big down here. Some score updates, Caleb. Vero Beach 21, Rockledge 12 in the fourth quarter. Palm Bay is tied 7-7 with Port St. Lucie in the fourth quarter. Cocoa is up 20-13. That is the latest score updates that we have in the comments and from the ScoreStream app. You can always check ScoreStream and you'll be able to find any high school football game that is being played in the state of Florida.
That Cocoa Merritt Island game being streamed live here on the Brevard Sports Network as there's an injured Panther on the field. Alan Slaughter-Zinski has the call live from Richard Dick Blake Stadium. That's an interesting score, 20-13.
I am very surprised. You know, that Cocoa, they got Davin Widener at quarterback replacing DJ Arroyo. You know, Davin holds multiple Division I offers. Big, tall kid, can sling the rock around. You know, Cocoa's got those playmakers, but, you know, they lost a lot of kids on that class. You lost, a Davis Mallinger out of wide receiver, so,
Well, and here's the thing I'm sure Alan mentioned in his pregame over for his game. Merritt Island gave Davin Widener fits last year when he was at Holy Trinity.
That's true. I mean, obviously there's some kind of connection there, and, I did see that Tay Farmer just said that Cocoa scored 27-13, so Cocoa is now up by 2 touchdowns. Mr. Farmer, I hope you're doing well down there in school. You're in our thoughts and prayers tomorrow, and we, been a big part of this community, Tay.
But
we've got an injured Panther on the field.
Again, we don't show injuries here on the Brevard Sports Network. You're getting a look at this Melbourne team who's just they're trying to stop the momentum that Heritage has just swung coming out of halftime.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb, like I said, this is a big down, 3rd and 7. Heritage gets stopped here in Melbourne's territory. Probably a safe bet. Melbourne punts the ball away. I mean, Heritage they come out swinging. Coach Ainsley made his adjustments, and they're running the ball right down Melbourne's throat.
Alves is the one coming up. He's walking on his own power, so that is a good sign. Alves a key
It's
part.
early, Caleb. It's preseason. It's hot as the dog out here lately. You know what that means. They're cramping like crazy. They better get them some pickle juice.
Pickle juice, some mustard.
It's a big third down here for the Bulldogs. Down one playmaker with Alves coming out the field.
Turner calls. Okay. Short
Wide
pass
open.
to the tight end.
Heritage linebackers bit on the fake, and Wadsworth just sat there wide open. That's going to be a big play for Melbourne.
11:30 left here in the fourth quarter. 24-20. Bulldogs on top, but they're trying to take back this momentum from Heritage. Turner gives it off to Galvin.
Go Galvin. That's a great job by Isaiah Nieves for playing linebacker. Fills the hole. Nowhere for Galvin to go. It's going to be a loss of 3 for the Bulldogs.
2nd and 13 now for the Bulldogs.
Number 9, Channing Clayball checked into the game for Devin Alves, playing the H-back position.
One tight end, 3 wideouts. Slow snap. Turner still taking a shot. And the Melbourne faithful are wondering where the flag is.
That's great coverage by Tayshawn Benson, using that sideline, keeping him in his hip pocket. Hey, 3rd and 13 for Melbourne. Another big third down here for the Panthers. They need to get off the field. We have 10 minutes and 12 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Bulldogs are up 24-20, 3rd and 13 on their own 45-yard line. Mike Benson, welcome to the broadcast. Your nephew has 2 scores, 1 running and 1 receiving, and 1 interception. He has had himself a great day coming off of a great spring game.
Well, what are you calling here, Coach? You're Coach David McIntyre. What's your play call here?
Well, Caleb, it's 3rd and 13. I'm going to try to get half of it back. That's always been my strategy. Try to use 2 downs, not 1. Try to fight for 13. 3rd and long play call is a lot harder than, 4th and short or 4th and long when you're going to punt the ball. So, Coach Stephen Hughes dialing it up. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back to that fake trap tight end underneath that he ran in the first quarter here. It was that wide open. However, Wadsworth is lined up wide, so I don't think we'll see that play.
4 wide receivers. Galvin in the backfield. Turner, play action. He's going to fire. In and out of the hands.
That's a great ball and a great route. Wadsworth did slip coming out of his break. It was open. It was deep enough for a first down. Here we are, 4th and 13. Are the Bulldogs going to go for it? If I'm David McIntyre, I'm putting it away. The way Heritage has that momentum has been running the ball.
And it looks like that's what we're going to see. We're going to see that punt team come out.
Yeah, he's going to quick kick it, but don't be surprised if he runs a fake. You got nobody covering Michael Galvin over here on the end. Nope, here he comes.
And a quick kick.
He punts it out of bounds. That's only going to be about a 15-yard punt. A 12-yard punt for Melbourne. Heritage takes over on their own 43-yard line. Buckle up. Last 10 minutes is going to be fun here.
You know, we were talking. I said this was going to be one of those barn burners. I said we'd be in for an interesting game, and you know what? Interesting it has been.
Yeah, Caleb. We talked before. This series was due for a close game. They've played 7 times, and only one time was the game decided by 7 points or less. The rest of the 6 games were decided by 21 points or more. Heritage leads the series 5-2 against Melbourne. Melbourne won the first one, and then Melbourne did have a 47-0 win last year at Heritage.
Sends his man in motion. Tenta hands off to Turner. Turner just following his blockers with a huge 20-plus yard run.
And we're going to add a 15-yard penalty on the Bulldogs, 44 with some extracurricular activity after the play. That's a free 15 for the Panthers.
I think that was about a 23-yard run plus 15. You're talking 37 yards in one play between the play itself and the penalty. That's not going to win you football games.
I did notice the Bulldogs did move Gavin Rowell inside a D tackle, try to slow down that gashing up the middle.
But hey, you know what? Then you run away from him, and you're telling somebody else on that defense, step up and make a play.
1st and 10 for Heritage from the Melbourne 24.
1st and 10 from the Melbourne 24, just outside the amazing elite football academy red zone.
Coach Panucci pulls the linebacker out for the 15-yard penalty. They got a new linebacker in number 15.
Tenta calls for the ball. Hands off to Turner. Turner just following his blocks, getting maybe 3 or 4 yards on the play.
I'll tell you this much. I'm watching Luke Ainsley block Carson Freese, and I know those boys are best friends. They go fishing all the time. But one of them jokers is on the ground every single play. I think that friendship's going to be a little fun to see tomorrow or Sunday.
You know, look. Over a couple weeks, they'll go play games against other teams. And then someone's going to be the first one to text, hey, bud, you want to take the boat out? Yep. Yeah, okay. But, yeah, for the first couple weeks, it'll probably be one of those, probably won't talk to each other for a little bit.
Well,
but then someone's going to break because someone's going to want to go fishing.
Both these O-lines have just been terrorizing the D-line. I mean, we're seeing pancakes left and right. I think IHOP's here.
Tenta, man in motion, giving it back to Tayshawn Benson.
Tayshawn Benson.
Benson cuts it back.
He's in. Tayshawn Benson with his 3rd touchdown of the game.
Touchdown, Tayshawn Benson.
Caleb, you called it at halftime. Panthers are on top. Coming back from 24-6 deficit, 8 minutes and 31 seconds left in the first half. It's quiet over here.
It is 26-24, pending the extra point, or the 2-point conversion, I should say, because we have not seen Heritage attempt 1 extra point all night. Touchdown brought to you by Amazing Elite Football Academy. Coach Eddie Mays will get your athlete right in mind, body, and soul. Give him a call at 321-223-6237.
I'm pretty sure Tayshawn Benson has spent some time with Coach Eddie Mays this summer, the way he's running the rock.
And to the outside. Fumble. And you cannot advance on a 2-point conversion. If you're on the defense, you cannot advance on that 2-point conversion. But the Panthers have taken the first lead of the game with 8:31 left in the game.
Antonio, Jalen's been sitting on the bench. I'm not sure if he's injured or something, but he has not come off the bench since the second quarter. 8 minutes and 31 seconds left in the game.
Heritage set to kick it off. That ball's kicked off. Caught short. A little lackadaisical on that return.
Yep, number 19 returning it, and swinging the ball around, tackled by number 14, Tayshawn Townsend.
First and 10 for the Bulldogs from the 42.
Like to welcome back in sponsor Walk-Ons in Vieira. Great place to watch sports with big helpings of food. No better place. So it'll be interesting to see how does Melbourne respond after giving up.
You know, they gave up 20 unanswered points, Caleb. I mean, they got to play ball. Devin Alves.
And here comes Galvin.
Great run by Michael Galvin. Jalen Clark has checked back into the game.
And again, similar to Heritage, if you're Melbourne, you know what? Now, see if you can run the football. Let that offensive line regain their confidence, start pushing some people around, and then it'll take the pressure off Hunter Turner to find a receiver sitting in that zone. Just under 8 minutes left in the game. Turner calls for the snap, gives it to Galvin. Galvin looking to come near side and is wrapped up by that Heritage defense.
He's going to be close to a first down.
Look,
Devin McDonald and Tayshawn Townsend on the tackle.
Look, the Heritage Panthers call their defense Swarm Gang. Their Twitter handle is @SwarmGang, and that's what they do on defense. They just swarm to the football, quick, precise movements.
Yeah, absolutely. There's not Swarm Gang for no reason. Coach Ainsley upset. He wanted a measurement, but first and 10 for Melbourne on the Heritage 48-yard line.
Turner in the gun.
Heritage defender is off sides, but we don't see a flag. I can see that
Hands
from up
off
here.
to Galvin. Galvin trying to get to the outside, and again, that Swarm Gang defense swarming to that football.
Devin McDonald on the tackle again, number 7 for the Panthers.
3-yard pickup for the Bulldogs. It'll be 2nd and 7.
I will say this, Caleb. I'm not coaching right now, but I pick it up. A lot of Melbourne plays have been to their bench tonight.
Bring up second down. Turner hands off to Galvin. Galvin caught from behind with an ankle tackle.
3rd and 8, big down here for the Bulldogs.
Coming up on just over 6.5 minutes left in the game. Big third down for this Melbourne offense.
See what Coach Hughes dials up here. We got Jalen Clark wide side matched up one-on-one with Tayshawn Benson.
Hand off to, play action.
Yep, attempting to pass to
Incomplete,
Jack.
and that'll bring up 4th down.
To Wadsworth, number 4, incomplete.
6:07 left in the game.
We got our last official timeout of the game. 6:07 left in the fourth quarter. 4th and 8. That's a timely one for the Bulldogs to see what they can draw up here. I might have saved that one for the change of possession, but.
Again, 6:07, 26-24. Panthers on top.
Yeah. Devin Alves still must be cramping, Caleb, because he has not checked back into the game. The senior playmaker for the Bulldogs. Again, it is a kickoff classic. You don't want to risk any injuries.
Bulldog fans, remember, if you leave hungry or thirsty, that's your choice. The concession stand is still pushing out cheeseburgers and Gatorade and Pepsi products.
All right, here we go. Big 4th down here for the Bulldogs. What has Coach McIntyre?
Big play here. We do got a flag on the field. I believe Heritage was lined up off sides, but we will see what they do.
What a big penalty that would be.
Well, it's been 2 plays in a row, Caleb. I've seen it, but he didn't call it the first time. Yep, looks like number 50 is lined up off sides.
So now that takes from 3rd and 7 to 4th, from 4th and 7 to 4th and 2. Now that whole playbook is just opened right back up.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, the play sheet's a lot shorter when it's 4th and short than 4th and long. So looks like we got a long 4th and 3. See if Hughes sticks with what he previously called. Watch out for the tight end. He seems to be their go-to in a tight situation right now.
Handoff. Nope. Pulls it out.
Hunter Turner
Overthrows
trying to
his
make something out of
receiver.
nothing. Pass intended for Channing Clayball. Incomplete. Turnover on down. We do got an injured Panther on the field.
Injury timeout. And you know what? With this injury timeout, we're going to take a timeout too here. 5:58 left in the game. Panthers take over with the lead and the ball here on Brevard Sports Network.
This is homeowner Harry. He's a family man, and today he's examining his utility bills. He's wondering why his utility costs, especially the cost of energy, is so high. He wishes there was an alternative that could cost him lower than his present bills. Luckily for him, there is. Here's Dan from Sun Shop at his door. Dan has come to explain to him how going solar can help him lower his utility cost and solve his worries. Homeowner Harry lets Dan in, and he explains to him how the sun will fuel his home when he goes solar. Dan also breaks everything down to him on how his bills would be lower, and he'll be helping the planet in his own little way at the same time. He was pleased with all what he has heard about going solar with Sunshop. Thanks to Dan from Sunshop, his home is now powered by solar. And now he's all smiles and happy. No worries for him, as he's now in control of his monthly utility bills. Contact Dan with Sunshop below today to go solar too.
Hey, this is Devon Dudley, and you are watching Brevard Sports Network. Oh, my brother, testify.
We are back. Hand off to Turner.
6-yard gain. The Panthers are going to try to gash out this last 5 minutes and 50 seconds. There is no hurry on the Heritage Panthers right now.
Go slow. You make sure everyone knows what they're supposed to do.
And I think Mr. Turner got a talking to with 3 fumbles in the first half. Coach Ainsley knows he's got to hold on to that football to finish this game.
Coming just under 5.5 minutes left in the game. 2nd and 5 for the Panthers. And LJ Turner.
Going to bring up 3rd and 1. A little short run.
3rd and short. Everyone huddle up.
You know, Caleb, everybody predicted this to be a close football game coming into this game, and, you know, it jumped out to a 24-6 lead for Melbourne. They've struggled in the second half, just like Heritage struggled in the first half.
(26-24) as you see up on the walk-ons scoreboard. Panthers on top. They took that lead in the 3rd quarter.
Coach Ainsley's going to burn a timeout. 4 minutes and 28 seconds left. It's a big 3rd down for the Panthers.
That it is, and you know what? I like that timeout there by Ainsley. Make sure everyone's on the same page. Everyone knows which specific play you're going to run. Pick up the 1st down, and then just keep letting this clock churn.
Absolutely, Cabe. I agree with you, man. That's a great call by Coach Ainsley. Can't take them home with you, so you might as well use them when you need them.
Agreed. And you know what? I still think this is still 2-down territory, because if you can pick up this 1st down, if not this down, the next down, you still use a minute off of the clock. I
Absolutely. I I think either way, Ainsley's going to try to pick up a first down, whether that be on third down right here or fourth down if they don't get it. I don't see him punting the football right now. He's got all the momentum right now.
It's one of those game situations. Hey, offense, I'm putting the game in your hands. Go do it.
Melbourne's going to bring the heat. Linebackers are already there.
That line is crowded. Tenta hands it off to Turner.
Big stop by Gavin Rowell. It's going to bring up 4th and 2 for Heritage. Let's see what Coach Ainsley does. Caleb, it's a kickoff classic. I don't think Coach Ainsley's got any idea of punting this football right now.
No, he doesn't.
4th and 2. This
just
is a
under
big
4
play.
minutes left in the game. This is a big 4th down for both squads. As the fans begin stomping in the stands.
Ainsley's going to call another timeout. He's lucky Tenta didn't snap the ball. The wide receiver right here on the short side of the field was moving. 3:41 left. 4th and 2 for the Panthers.
All right, we're going to take another quick timeout with 3:41 left in the game. Panthers up 26-24 here on the Brevard Sports Network.
Hello, Space Coast. Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the Brevard Sports Network. I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of you for your support of BSN and allowing us to cover your student athletes and come into your home each and every night. Give us a follow on Facebook at Brevard Sports Network, and here's to many more years of top-notch sports coverage right here in Brevard County. Thanks again.
Hi, this is Michelle Rycroft with Beach Wave Volleyball Club, and you're watching Brevard Sports Network.
Thank you, Alan Slaughter-Zinski and Coach Michelle Rycroft, for bringing us back. Coach Michelle Rycroft of Beach Wave Volleyball Club. Big 4th down here for the Panthers.
Absolutely. Welcome, Coach Josh O'Neill, the West Melbourne senior coach, to the broadcast. And Dominique, we are trying, but these fans are going crazy over here.
Fake to Turner.
Oh, play action. Kane Avila gets his first catch. That's a huge, gutsy play by Coach Ainsley. Nice throw by Joseph Tenta. That's a Panther first down.
That's a Panther first down, and guess what? Now you can take off at least another 30, 45 seconds off the clock.
You got 30-second play clocks. So I'm not sure if we got a flag. We do have a flag on the field, so this could be interesting. Is it going to tack another 15 for Melbourne? No flag. The flag is waved off. It'll be 1st and 10 Heritage on the Melbourne 37-yard line. 3:33 left, and the clock will be rolling. And I'm sure Coach Ainsley is telling Joseph Tenta to take all 30 seconds. Yep. I'm sorry, all 25 seconds. We're not in Little League. All 25 seconds off that play clock.
You jumped into coaching mode, didn't you, Palmer?
Oh, I will stand there and tell my quarterback, and I will time it on my watch, and I will throw a hand signal. Go ahead and snap it.
And you don't snap it until I give that signal.
Absolutely. Hey, it's a tight ball game. The clock is not running, which is...
I am shocked there. Snap, toss out wide, cuts it back
Turner.
up inside the tackle.
Ball's
out!
McIntyre does recover it, but that hurts. He ran out of bounds, so the clock stopped. The clock should have been running the whole time here. It was not running. It's 3:24 left.
2nd and 5. Yep. There will be lots of
that's on the referees. That clock should have been running after that no wave. When he waved off the flag, the whistle should have started right there. Let's see if that comebacks to play a factor in this game.
You know, I went the 1 year I played football for Rockledge was under the Laskowski era, and Coach Laskowski Jr. One of the things he would always tell his running backs, any backs, fullbacks, running backs, is when you carry something, act as if you're carrying the football and kind of weave your way through the school just to get those midday reps.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the 4th fumble by Turner, and Tenna's going to keep his one up the gut. Joseph Tenna's a load.
You know what? I love the guts there by Tenta.
Hey, that's a first down Heritage. Clock should now roll. Hey, I look familiar. I let Joseph Tenta do that for a couple of times for you. Tell you what, you let your playmakers make plays, you look like a good coach.
And ref is on the clock. Need to be winding. Coming up on 3 minutes left in the game.
Oh, Coach Ainsley going to take all 25. I told you that. The back judge will stick his hand in the air. Quarterback will know when to snap it. And I believe Melbourne has all 3 of their timeouts, Caleb. I'm 2 or 3 of them, I know for sure.
And turn it to the outside.
Heritage has checked in with Tayshawn Benson to carry the rock. Melbourne's going to use one of their timeouts with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. It'll be 2nd and 6 for the Panthers.
Takes a timeout with 2:40 left to play in the game.
Melbourne looks gassed.
They had the defense, the line, hands on hips.
You know, this Melbourne defense has spent most of their time on the field in the second half. Offense just wasn't able to create. You know, give it up to Coach Ainsley. Win or lose, he made some adjustments at halftime, and it certainly helped this Heritage Panther team.
You know, and you know what? I'll say this: great way for Joseph Tenta to bounce back. He had not a favorable first half, and even the first snap he took in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, if the Heritage Panthers hang on to win this game, Joseph Tenta is not going to be happy with his performance. He had 3 interceptions. Again, just a sophomore. But Joseph holds himself to a higher standard, and you know, he'll get back in the lab and watch some film and get back to work for their. I believe they're at Palm Bay next week to open the season. That's going to be a barn burner too.
That one will be a barn burner. All right.
Well, Caleb, 2nd and 6 here. You know, theoretically, if Heritage can get a first down or 2, this game's over.
Second up for Heritage.
And toss to the outside, cuts back in, following his blockers. LJ Turner, touchdown, Panthers!
That's a big play from the Heritage Panthers. That's going to give them an 8-point lead. But, Caleb, if they don't convert, this ball game ain't over yet.
So this will be an all-important 2-point conversion.
Yeah, and,
2:32 left in the game.
I love Coach Ainsley going back with LJ Turner. He's had a good game. He has had 4 fumbles. But you know what? Coach Ainsley is going to ride with him, and he'll correct that during the week. I guarantee you LJ Turner has a much better rest of the season than he did tonight.
All right. Coach, I'll ask you, what's your 2-point play right here? When you had Joseph Tenta down in West Melbourne.
Listen, I think we just got a 15-yard penalty on Melbourne again. That we're approaching double-digit penalties on Melbourne for unsportsmanlike and personal fouls. That's not going to fly. I think that'll be assessed on the kickoff. No point in taking it on the extra point. But to answer your question, Caleb, I'm running the rock with Joseph Tenta, and I'm following my 2 backs. Because right now, Heritage has all the momentum. Melbourne's gassed. A couple kids hanging their heads out there, hands on hips. It's going to be a fun night for me, Caleb. Obviously my father being on the Heritage staff. I'm a Bulldog, coached here, played here. Spent 10 years. My dad coached here for 13 years, and him and Coach Ainsley asked me for my prediction, and I'm not going to say it on air, but it's going to be a great post-game interview with Coach Ainsley because I know he's going to give me a hard time.
That ought to be a fun interaction. So what's going to happen is either way, what's going to happen is after this game, we're going to log off. We'll record the post-game interviews, and they will be played at some point this weekend, regardless of who wins. Coach McIntyre still out there trying to fight for his players, but.
Well, hopefully it wasn't an ejection because I don't think Melbourne can afford to have another ejection. But if I'm looking at this bench, Coach Panucci has lost his mind on these 2 kids, just coaching them up, letting them know that that's selfish. You got to be bigger. You're hurting the team. if indeed that's 2 penalties or 2 ejections. Now you got 3 ejections total for Melbourne. You know, that's it's not a way to start the season. Coach Benson and Bootleg, I don't disagree. Melbourne's ends have been great all night. That's why Heritage has gassed them up the middle. But Cameron Rowell did just come out of the game, so not a bad call, Coach Benson.
32-24, big 2-point conversion.
Nakari McIntyre
Tenta
lines up.
Tensa's going to take it himself.
Well, it's good. What'd I tell you? Joseph Tenta, we got a 10-point ball game with 2 minutes and 32 seconds left. I'll tell you what, L.J. Turner and Tayshawn Benson had a day in the backfield. This Heritage team just sat back in the pistol formation and has ran power after power after power straight down the Melbourne defense.
(34-24), Panthers over the Bulldogs. 2:32 left in the quarter.
Melbourne has scored, Heritage has scored 28 unanswered and shut out Melbourne in the second half so far with 2 minutes and 32 seconds left.
I'd like to thank everyone who's been watching us here on the Brevard Sports Network. Thank you for making us your choice for Friday Night Football.
I can tell you this there, Caleb. The Melbourne sideline just looks in complete disbelief. It's quiet over here, but hey, you know what? It's a kickoff classic. These Bulldog fans got a lot to be, excited about the future of this program this year. Things will get corrected. The Bulldogs will be fine.
And there's that short squib.
Well, the Bulldogs are going to take over on their own 35. 2:21 left.
So here we are. Turner brings his Bulldogs to the line. Turner dropping back.
Well,
and
Melbourne gives up their first sack, but I'm going to let you know that the Melbourne receivers.
And look, if you're Heritage, you can't afford that right now.
No, that's a dumb mistake by number 7 of the Panthers. But again, that's the first sack given up by the Bulldogs. But the receivers never moved, so I don't think Hunter really had a chance to do anything but get sacked.
15 yards, that's a first down.
Personal foul against Heritage. 2:11 left to play in the game.
Caleb, it is definitely getting a lot chippier than just, like I said, I know 40 or 50 of these kids have played through West Melbourne. They all know who each other are. Every last one of those kids knows better than what they're doing right now.
Being inside that West Melbourne, you guys have always enforced discipline on and off the field. Great program West Melbourne has down there. Coming up on 2 minutes left. Turner fires, incomplete. That'll stop the clock.
Pass intended for Santiago, just out of his reach. It's going to be, I guess that wasn't a 15-yarder, Caleb.
I guess not.
So we got 3rd and 2. I didn't quite understand that. It must not have been a dead ball. Not sure what the call was.
Turner calls for the snap. And he's going to keep it himself. Cut back inside.
He's going to pick up the first down. That'll stop the clock. 1 fit.
And the clock is still running.
It's a first down.
We got 1:40 left in the game. 1st and 10 Melbourne.
A couple yards, giving us another set of downs with 1:37 left to play in the game.
Turner calls for it. Fires.
Nice. Oh, nice
Cannot
laser
come up
by
with
Hunter
the
Turner.
catch.
That's going to be a drop on Wadsworth. It will stop the clock at 1:32. If I'm Heritage, I got to slow my roll with my celebration.
Yep.
Lock this game up.
A minute and a half left in this game. Turner dropping back. Fires. Got a man. Overshoots his man.
Hunter overshoots him. He had a little pressure in his face.
Third down for the Bulldogs with 1:25 left to play.
You figure if Heritage gets the stop here, that's going to be game. They got 2 downs.
I can tell you at halftime, Caleb, nobody in this stadium expected 28 unanswered from the Heritage
No.
Panthers. Again, great job, Coach Ainsley at halftime, his staff. And looks like we're going to have a sideline warning against Melbourne unless we got an offsides against Heritage. Number 50 might have been lined up offsides again. Yep, lined up in the
Offsides.
neutral zone for the Panthers again. That'll help. That'll bring up 3rd and 5 with 1:25 left.
It does help. It's 5 less yards you have to pick up, but
Makes it 3rd and 5 for Melbourne.
Turner surveys.
Oh,
Drops the football.
Hunter
That-
Turner just trying to make something happen. And number 7, McDonald, with the strip. Hunter was able to recover. Melbourne's going to use another timeout with 1:11 left in the 4th quarter.
34-24.
Now for the Bulldogs with 1:11 left to play.
Timeout by the Bulldogs. I don't think anyone truly expected this game coming in. I mean, some people expected it to be close, but again, like you said, 28 unanswered points in the second half.
Yeah, Caleb, I'm not afraid to admit it. It was 24-6. Melbourne was rolling. I said, see if Heritage can keep this to a minimal. But, hey, kudos to them. Kudos to the staff. Kudos to the Heritage players for coming out in the second half and just busting butt. Great job.
To me, this goes to show the maturity of the youth at Heritage. They went in down, made their adjustments, and came back out swinging. Turner dropping back. Scrambling. Throws that ball out of bounds, and that's a turnover on downs. And there will be a celebration in Palm Bay tonight.
Well, Caleb, I hope for both teams we can play this last minute and 2 seconds with no penalties, no
Yes.
foolishness. Take a knee, get out of here,
Yes.
go back to work on Monday.
I mean, look, both teams are, if you're Heritage, you take you celebrate this win tonight, but there's a lot you got to work on comeback Monday. Just because you won, I mean, look.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Heritage did not have a good first half at all. And, they might have scored 28 unanswered in the second half. Guarantee you, Coach Ainsley's still going to find some things to work on that they need to improve on in the second half.
Absolutely. I mean, look, you can't – in most games, you cannot turn the ball over 4 or 5 times and expect to come out on top.
Yeah, I mean, luckily some of those fumbles that they've had, they recovered. But the 3 interceptions, I mean, there's just so much that, improve. And it looks like Joseph Tenta is going to take a knee.
That's what they're telling the referee.
Good old victory formation, Caleb. Nothing better than calling that as a coach.
You know what? Hey, we are the lucky ones. We got to watch a great football game. Coach, your final assessment on both teams. Let's start with the Heritage Panthers.
Heritage Panthers, they're young, slow start. Offensive line, as I told you, very impressive. Defense struggled early. But I think Heritage Panthers know what they got to do to play, this 2021 season. That's run the rock. They got a plethora of backs. They got a great O-line. That's a great job, and that's going to be the game.
All right, so I'd like to thank all of our sponsors one more time. Community Credit Union. Amazing Elite Football Academy, Coach Eddie Mays. Slow and Low Barbecue in Vieira. Kendall Signs. Sun Shop. Walk-Ons. Ubrazati. For everyone here at the Brevard Sports Network, for Coach Billy Palmer, I'm Caleb Brown. Stay tuned this weekend to find out who was the player of the game. And no, you don't need this right now. That's from either side. To me, if you're Heritage, you didn't play well enough to go swinging your banner and planting it on the opponents.
Caleb, that's just disrespectful. There's so many kids that know each other. There's been so much trash talking going on. You can't get away with that crap, though. You don't do that on anybody's banner. Melbourne did that last year to Palm Bay. It was disrespectful. You just don't do those things. You know what I mean?
So, for everyone here at the Brevard Sports Network, Coach Billy Palmer, I'm Caleb Brown. Have a good night, everybody, and remember, make it a sports night.